That's my partner. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Final four. I know.
Oh.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, hey, ho.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, I'm going to start streaming here.
Stream it.
I'm putting another stream. So you want to do this? Yes, I am.
Push it right there, right there, right there. Yes-a-foo.
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 Tunde.
Tunde.
Are you getting our audio?
Hello. Test.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Hello,
1 2
hello.
1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello 1 2. Hello 1 2. Hello 1 2.
Testing. Testing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Does this need to be pushed down? So this audio is coming from right there.
Down. 1 2 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2. So they're coming out of here, which just says phones. So this is phones level. So this is phones level, so I just turned it down. From Foster Pavilion in Waco, welcome into Baylor Bear basketball. It's the exhibition opener for Scott Drew and the Bears, and there are Drews all over the building today for this one. Welcome in John Morris alongside Baylor Athletics Hall of Famer Pat Nunley. And Pat, it is Baylor versus GCU, coached by Bryce Drew.
Bryce Drew and Homer Drew.
Homer is in the building.
The patriarch of the family is here. We'll hear from him later. And then you've got Casey Shaw. You've got the Shaw family. The in-laws are actually
here. Dana
Dana's
Shaw is here.
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
So it is a family affair today.
Dana, by the way, is Scott and Bryce's sister. Casey is an assistant coach on Bryce's staff. So there's a bit of the family tree here, which makes it fun, doesn't it, for these two to go against each other. Now, they have done this in closed scrimmages before, never done it in a public exhibition or during the regular season.
That's right, and we can't forget Luke Shaw and Caleb Shaw, who are both on the GCU roster. But, yeah, it's great that it's not closed door. Gives the opportunity for Baylor fans to get an early look, a glimpse of the 2025-26 version of Baylor men's basketball. And I think, too, it's a great opportunity for Coach Drew to get a different perspective on his team. You get kind of tired of it, but you get used to seeing the same guys doing the same thing every day. And what this will do is give them the opportunity to get a different perspective. And I think what really is special for both Drews today, or maybe all three of the Drews, is Scott's going to learn from Bryce. Bryce will critique Baylor's team. Scott will critique GCU's team, and then Homer will critique both of them. But, I think that really counts a lot. It gives them a perspective they don't have right now.
Exactly. And for an exhibition, that's really what you want. You would like to have some critique, by your coaches of your team, but from the opposing coach to have your team critiqued as well in a kind way. That'd be nice.
That's right. And I just envision them, John, getting some pizza, sitting down with some video, and just going to town. And, not just shutting out the world for about 4 hours. Yeah. But it is going to give them a different perspective. And the cool thing is, for both teams, in an exhibition game, you can try anything. And I think the sky's the limit for both teams, and there are a lot of things they're going to want to look at.
Pat, it's a little different for Scott Drew in that he's always done closed scrimmages. Never done, I think in his entire time here, he's never done an open exhibition.
Yeah, I can't remember one. I know they've had a number of them, but sometimes you and I don't even know about them.
All right.
And we certainly aren't invited to them. But I think this is, again, just a great opportunity for people to come get a look at this completely revamped roster, and gives the both teams an opportunity to play in front of a bit of a crowd. I think that's special.
Well, it is a completely new roster for the Bears, and Pat, it's even a different roster than we saw in Germany in the World University games. Like I see Michael Ratai go out to start this game for the Bears, and Tunde Yesufu is out there. Those guys couldn't play for Baylor in the World University games. Baylor is Team USA. Well, they tip this game off, and it's a quick dunk at the other end for Grand Canyon to start. Dusty Stromer dunks it, and great GCU has a quick 2-0 lead.
I think that was a called play because the tip by the guy that was jumping for GCU was actually an outlet pass to Stromer, who finished with a dunk.
For Baylor, Michael Ratai is starting. Tunde Yesufu, Dan Skillings is starting for the Bears. Here's a turnaround jumper, short baseline right. It is no good. Rebounded by GCU. And also for the Bears starting this game today is Obi Agbum, who had a tremendous tournament, 6 games in Germany. There's a dive for the loose ball by the big man for GCU, saves the possession. Now a drive in, and a blocking foul is called on Baylor. Our officials today, doesn't look like an officiating crew you'd expect to see for an exhibition game.
No, it does not.
Doug Simmons, Marcus Pettigrew, and Chris Pacey are the 3 officials today.
Well, and they need some preseason work, too. It's probably been a while. And, John, we talk about getting a glimpse of this team. We got a really good glimpse back in July. You keep thinking this is a really early opener for Baylor, but we saw, 6 games, I guess, in July, and got a good glimpse then.
Three-pointer by Henley is no good. Rebound Baylor on the backside. They run it into the front court. Baylor in the white uniforms, GCU in the purple with the white numerals and lettering. Drive on the baseline, acrobatic shot for 2 by Baylor's Dan Skillings, the Cincinnati transfer.
Yeah, and he comes in having been a starter in the Big 12 at Cincinnati. In fact, he was Cincinnati's leading scorer as a sophomore up there.
Cameron Carr also in the starting lineup for the Bears. Here's a long-range 3 from the left side. That is good by Jaden Henley.
This is a skilled team, and I think both of these guys, these coaches, having grown up under the tutelage of Homer Drew, are going to play very similar. A lot of guard work, a lot of shooting, a lot of offense. Baylor's been a top 20 offense the last 7 years.
Foul on the perimeter. Obi Agbum is fouled. And Baylor will inbound far side of the court. 5-2 lead for GCU. Glad you found us. Streaming on BaylorBears.com. Video streaming as well on Athletics. Baylor Athletics YouTube channel is where you can find that. Not streaming highlights of the game. We cannot do that, but streaming from right here inside Foster Pavilion. Agbum, free throw line, pull-up jumper shot is no good. Big man pulls it down. That is Efe Demirel, 7'1", 240-pound freshman from Turkey. He is a load out there, the freshman big man for GCU. Dancing with the dribble is Brian Moore, one of only 2 returning players for GCU. They have 2 returning. That is 2 more than Baylor has on the roster. Shot clock down to 4. Drive, jumper, just beats the clock. Shot no good. Rebounded by Baylor's Cameron Carr. Carr up the floor in a hurry, left side to Skillings, drives on the baseline. Ooh. Reverse layup is good.
You know, we saw him do that a lot in Germany. He is so athletic, he's so big, and so confident that he can get the ball to the rim, and he finishes in traffic.
Whistle's going to stop play, and that is a foul on Dan Skillings. And not a bad crowd here for 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, Pat. There was no admission charge to this, free and open to the public. Baylor students are out on, I think this is fall break. There's a few students behind us also.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're not even halfway through, maybe just halfway through football season.
It's early.
And here we are, and it feels like about mid-August out there.
Yeah, that is true. So GCU with the ball after the foul on Skillings. Here's a mid-range jumper left side. That one is no good by Nana Owusu Anane. Ball nearly stolen away. Chase for the loose ball. Chased down by GCU, and he's fouled on the layup attempt. That was good effort by Brian Moore to chase down that loose ball.
And we saw a turnover at the other end. And I think, John, that's one big challenge for this team, Baylor team, coming into the 2025-26 season. They're in search of a true point guard. Rob Wright, now at BYU, was the guy that was going to fill that spot. And I always feel like really good point guards are born, they're not made. And I think we're having to make a couple here. Agbum can play really about anywhere, but in terms of a true point guard who's the rudder of a ship, I think that's a position to him that is not completely comfortable. He's more of a scorer than he is a passer. I think we saw an example of that last possession by the Bears.
First free throw is good. It is 6-4. Second one is also good. So 6-4 lead, or 7-4 lead now for GCU over Baylor. The format today, they'll play 2 20-minute halves, pretty much like a real game. I think they want to simulate a real game. So there'll be timeouts. Not sure if we'll have the media timeouts we normally have. But then 2 20-minute halves, then they'll play a 10-minute bonus time period, kind of like a soccer bonus time. And Homer Drew will come and join us during that bonus time, and we'll get his thoughts on what we've seen in the scrimmage so far.
Yeah, and what we saw that last possession was Baylor going really hard to a matchup that they like, and that is Carr at 6'5", maybe 6'6", being guarded in the low post that time by Brian Moore, who's about 4 inches shorter. And Carr's a scorer. He's a bucket getter. You get it to him there, he's going to get you one.
Inbound to Skillings. Skillings to Ratai, big, strong player, first-year player for the Bears. Gives it to Yesufu, puts up a 3. It is no good from the left wing. 7'1" freshman pulls it down for GCU. That is Efe Demirel. And a quick bucket at the other end. It's 9-4, GCU leading Baylor.
Yeah, that's a really good get for GCU out of the portal. Brian Moore was at Norfolk a year ago, was a top mid-major player in the country, won the Lou Henson Award, and he's obviously a great player, blew right by his defender then.
With J.J. White and Isaac Williams off the Baylor bench to check in following a timeout. So there's our answer there. We will, and Caden Powell is set to check in as well. There's our answer. We will have regular media timeouts. Again, trying to simulate as much as possible a real game here at this exhibition. So we've got a timeout on the floor, 15:49 to play. First half, Baylor and GCU. The GCU Lopes have the early lead over the Bears, 9-4. We are brought to you in part by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, proud championship partner of Baylor Athletics. And we're brought to you by Hellberg's. Fans, don't miss out on Texas Top 50 Barbecue, located conveniently right off Highway 6 outside Waco at Hellberg's Barbecue. Hellberg's offers catering, daily specials, and more to barbecue lovers from across Texas. Hellberg's Barbecue, salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
Well, as the Bears continue to just figure out who's the right team on the floor at which time in that first period, and they usually go by media timeouts to kind of take the game in chunks. 9-4 at this point. We're at 15:49. Grand Canyon leads the ball game. Both buckets buckets provided in the ball game for Baylor by Dan Skillings, and it's hard to get a really good idea of how this game's going to be played by the first media timeout. But there's a lot of figuring out going on, and both teams, both programs, statistically will have this thing completely broken down by the end of the game. But the measuring stick along the way typically is media timeout by media timeout. You'll see a lot of substitutions to see who's playing better with the other four members of the team.
That 2 buckets by Dan Skillings. That's all 4 Baylor points. He also has 2 fouls early on. So Skillings filling up the stat sheet, not necessarily the way you'd like to.
Well, and hopefully this year compared to last year's team had almost zero depth. And so what Coach Drew and the staff did was go out in the portal, and as opposed to really investing heavily in just fewer than a handful, 2 or 3 guys, they went out and built a team that has got some depth, can withstand foul trouble, can withstand injuries. Bears have already had, I think, more than their fair share of injuries and are working through that. But it's a different roster. It's a deeper roster because of that, and I think it's going to serve them well.
All right, we'll try to get you acquainted with the new Bears, and that would be everybody on the team. Cameron Carr was here last year after transferring from Tennessee, but he didn't play. He redshirted the entire year. So coming off the bench when they come back on the floor is J.J. White, 6'1" guard, a transfer from Omaha and Colby Community College, 5th-year grad transfer. We'll see Isaac Williams IV on the floor when we return. 6'1", 192-pound sophomore. He is a transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, originally from Oklahoma City. And then Caden Powell is coming on the floor. Caden, a familiar name to many here in the area. He's a Midway High School product, went to Wyoming, then Rice, and now here at Baylor as a senior grad transfer. Caden Powell, I think they really like him. They're really going to count on him. 6'9", 224-pound senior.
Yeah, and he provides length back there, but what he really provides is experience. And I remember talking to Jonathan Chumwachacha years ago about the key to being a defensive player in the low post. He said you got to talk, you got to communicate, because at that spot you see the floor better than anybody else on the defensive end. And Caden Powell does that extremely well. He's a talker, he's a navigator, kind of an orchestrator back there, and a guy that's been at Wyoming, at Rice, now here. He has seen a lot, and he brings some wisdom to the floor from that spot.
Wilhelm Breidenbach is on the floor for GCU, 6'10", 235-pound grad transfer from Washington. Played at Nebraska prior to that. And Caleb Shaw is out there for GCU as well. Caleb, 6'6", 215-pound junior from Phoenix. He is the son of Casey Shaw. He would be the nephew of Scott Drew and the grandson of Homer Drew. A couple of free throws makes it 9-6. And GCU with the ball. Stromer has the ball on the perimeter. Gives to Breidenbach.
Ooh.
Nice pass down low. Breidenbach's laying it in with his left hand.
Yeah, nice pass. Again, that's the guy that probably is the most highly sought transfer out of the portal, in this case certainly for GCU. Just a great player, had a great career at Norfolk State. 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists as he brought that team to the MEAC Conference Championship.
So Bears with the ball down 11-6. Down on the post, low post right side is Caden Powell. Muscles his way up, short jump hook, no good. Had the position there, just couldn't get the shot to fall. Rebound pulled down by Nanye for GCU. Here's Stromer on the perimeter. Gives it on the right wing. Man defense by Baylor. Now to Stromer. Shot clock under 10. Nanye, crowd students trying to mess with him with the shot clock. Little fadeaway 12-footer. He banked it in the paint.
Yeah, banked it in. I don't think he called backboard when he let it go. He was closely guarded by Yesufu. That's good defense. Forced an off-balance fall-away jumper that somehow found its way in.
Makes it 13-6. The Lopes on top of the Bears. Driving, layup, shot no good by Michael Ratai. And the ball goes out of bounds. Will stay with Baylor. Ratai, we saw him in Germany, not in a Baylor uniform, but he was playing for the host Germans.
And playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting just making eye contact with him. The Baylor coaches and some of the players knew what was coming. But we got a really good look at him in Germany. One of the better players, if not the best player, on that national team for them. Off to a bit of a slow start here, and I think down 13-6, just an indication of this team really just kind of feeling its way around right now with a bunch of different guys.
Inbounds, it comes to Isaac Williams. Here's Ratai, left corner three, shot no good. Rebound tipped a couple of times, then pulled down by Caleb Shaw. Ratai was the most outstanding forward in those games, the World University games in Germany. He averaged 17 points and 7 rebounds in the games for the German team. On the perimeter, Henley puts up a three straight away. It's no good. Rebounded by Baylor's Isaac Williams up the floor in a hurry. Williams to Ratai. Now to Yesufu. Yesufu behind the screen. A Powell knocks down the three-pointer.
You know, he's got a wow factor about him. He's not necessarily the best player yet on this team, but he's by far the best NBA prospect, and it's because of plays like that. He's got 5 in the ball game, and the challenge with him is just to get him in opportunities where he can display that, kind of a VJ Edgecombe approach.
Ooh, nice comparison. VJ number 3 pick in the NBA draft by the 76ers. So the three-pointer by Yesufu makes it 13-9. Here's a fadeaway three, left wing. That is no good by Evan Boudoir. And the Bears run it in a hurry to the other end, and there's a tie-up, and I think the ball's going to stay with the Bears as Dan Skillings and Cameron Carr come back on the floor.
You know, you talk about getting to the other end of the floor. Nobody does that faster than Isaac Williams.
That was quick.
That was quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like he was shot out of a cannon. He has got so much speed, has the ability to get the ball to the rim. It's really impressive how he does that. Got some work to do at the free throw line. Got to work on finishing those plays. But he has incredible athleticism at that guard spot.
Ratai and Yesufu go to the Baylor bench as Cam Carr, and there's a steal on the perimeter by Williams down the floor. Layup, too strong, no good. Tip for the loose ball, saved inbounds. Bears keep it there, half of the floor. J.J. White has it to Carr for three. Cam Carr knocks down the triple.
You know, there are a lot of different options to score on this team, and part of the process is to figure out who those guys are consistently. Carr is one of them. I think a number of other guys, particularly along the middle of the floor, can really score and light it up.
Caleb Shaw on the perimeter, passes cross court, gets it in the hands of Jaden Henley. Henley's entry pass knocked away, knocked right back to him. He'll drive. There is Caden Powell contesting the drive and picks up the foul. Foul's going to be on Caden Powell for the Bears. Comes with 11:54 on the clock, first half, timeout on the floor. Comes with GCU on top of Baylor, now 13-12. Bears certainly closed the gap, Pat, during that last 4-minute stretch.
Yeah, they were down 13-7. They're in the midst of a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. Had not scored in a while. Actually, Grand Canyon has not scored, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. They're in the middle of a drought, so it was a nice run, but I think what really kicked that off was the ability of some of these playmakers, Yesufu and I think Carr, are guys who can really explode. They're athletic. They have a nose for the ball. They know how to get it in the basket. Those two guys got a hold of it, and just really with a snap of a finger, Baylor's down by just 1. Actually, it was a 13-6 deficit.
All right, we are brought to you in part by Pepsi. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics. And brought to you by Rudy's. Rudy's a proud sponsor of Baylor men's basketball. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget Rudy's serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m.
Well, John, you Baylor fans are going to look at the Baylor bench and see a new coach. That is Ron Sanchez, who comes here from the University of Virginia. He was with Tony Bennett in his coaching career frequently. And I think if there is a defensive coordinator on the staff, it's Ron Sanchez. And I think there's a huge emphasis on that this year. We talked about how Baylor has been a top 20 offense in the country 7 years straight, but it has dropped off significantly over the last 3 years defensively. Just to make that point, they've had an average finish over the last 3 years at 80.3 in the country in adjusted defense, and that's that 3-year run over average, and that's after an average finish of 13. So that's a big drop over that last 3-year period, and I think Coach Sanchez has been handed the baton to say we've got to be able to defend. Even if we can't score, got to figure out a way to win games, tough games in this league when we're not at our best offensively, and that was a challenge a year ago.
Well, what a great addition Coach Sanchez is to this staff, and a guy with so much experience. And I know Coach Drew has so much respect for Coach Sanchez, but for the Bennett family, Dick Bennett and Tony Bennett, and that's where Ron Sanchez came from. Tony Bennett retired basically going into the last season. It was late. It was about this time last year. And so Ron Sanchez stepped in, was the interim head coach for Virginia a year ago.
That's right, and was really delivered a very difficult hand to play. When Coach Bennett stepped down, a number of players left the program, and so Coach Sanchez fought his way through the season. But he is, again, for Baylor, an incredibly good get on this staff. A lot of people asking, we're going to install the Virginia pack line defense, and it's kind of, sort of, maybe. There'll be wrinkles of it, but the idea is, again, just got to get better defensively to win in this league the way they want to win.
Free throws for GCU coming out of the timeout. It is Jaden Henley at the free throw line. Henley, a 6'7", 210-pound senior for GCU. Well-traveled, played at Minnesota, DePaul, UNLV, and now at GCU.
And that's not unusual. I mean, that's just the life of a college basketball player. Dusty Stromer was at Gonzaga a year ago, who's now on the lineup for on the floor for GCU.
Here's that speed you talked about, Pat, for Isaac Williams, the fourth. He kind of beat everybody down the floor and hit a turnaround jumper in the paint for two.
He is a jet. I mean, he doesn't have any trouble really getting shots off, working on his outside game, his ability to shoot it in, make free throws, but he's got all the raw talent it's going to take.
Jumper left side, hits the front iron and falls in. That is a two-pointer on the left side. 18-14. 18-14 is our score. GCU on top of Baylor.
And that's second really difficult made bucket by GCU. So Baylor defensively has forced GCU to take shots that they really don't want to take, make hard shots, and that was just the second of 2 or 3 of them in the game.
Cam Carr drives in, off balance, layup rolls in for Cameron Carr.
What a play. I mean, he's one of those guys. Skillings can do it. Yesufu can do it. I think Williams is capable, Ogbem, to make shots like that. There are a number of bucket getters in the lineup.
And a steal at midcourt. Isaac Williams nearly had the steal, and GCU had to foul him to avoid a layup at the other end. A foul's going to be called on Jaden Henley.
Yeah, and he's a ways away, Isaac Williams, from being the kind of player they want him to be, need him to be offensively. But on the defensive side, he can be an elite on-the-ball defender for this team. And I'm not sure they really expected that when they brought him in from Corpus Christi, but he has been a really bright spot. He was sensational in Germany.
Pat Mayo Soyo is on for the Bears, 6'10", 234-pound freshman. He's from Atlanta, played at Blair Academy. So Soyo is the big man on the floor for Baylor as the Bears put the ball back in play, trailing by 2, 18-16. Soyo gives the ball back to Isaac Williams, 9 to shoot. On the curl, Skillings got the ball, but it's going to be an offensive foul on Soyo.
Yeah, and it's just trying to set a screen, and it really sounds easy. But one thing Coach Drew has talked about, some of the big men we've had, Flo Thamba, other screeners, they get to the point where they are elite, and the offense doesn't work without those. I think Soyo has got a ways to go to get into that category.
2-point lead for GCU. Drive by Brian Moore. Turnaround, drops it off for the big man, who puts it up and in. 2 in the paint by F.A. Demirel, the 7'1" Turkish freshman. Makes it 20-16, GCU with the lead. Tip ball on the perimeter. Possession saved by Carr. Puts up a 3. Back iron, no good. Skillings flies in, trying to get the rebound. Does get it. Kicks it back outside to Agbum. Now to Carr. A closely guarded 3. This one's no good. And then the ball pulled down by GCU's Brian Moore. And GCU's got a player down at the other end of the floor.
Yeah, and Bears came away with nothing in that possession, but that was an unbelievable effort by Dan Skillings to balls up for grabs off the back of the rim on the missed shot. Went up, got his hand on it, kept the ball alive, and then chased it down and wrestled a couple other GCU players to the ground with the ball fighting for it, was able to kick it out to the perimeter, and the Bears stayed alive. Again, didn't get anything out of the possession, but what a play by Skillings.
All right, checking on the injured player. He is still down on his back, so we'll identify him when he gets up. Clock stops with 9:33 to play, first half. 20-16, GCU up on Baylor. And we're glad you're with us wherever you are listening, streaming today. Exhibition game number 1. Baylor will have 2 exhibitions this year, Pat. They'll take on Indiana in Indianapolis on October 26th.
Yeah, and you know, the only thing that will keep that from being sort of an ordinary game is just the label exhibition, because
right.
You think about this one, I mean, it's a good crowd for an exhibition game, middle of the afternoon, late afternoon on a Friday. I think when we go to Indianapolis, that's going to be, I mean, who knows how many people will be there.
Be a huge crowd.
Oh, right? A huge crowd.
Right.
So it'll be an exhibition game, won't count on anybody's record, but it'll be well attended, and the level of intensity and energy in that game will be off the charts.
All right, GCU player is up and being helped. He'll go straight. No, he'll go straight to the locker room. That is F.A. Demirel, the 7'1" freshman, who I didn't see the play really. I think was just scrambling for that ball, maybe took a hard fall on the floor, and took him a while to get back on his feet and helped off the floor. So stoppage here. They'll use the timeout while he is taken care of. They wipe up the perspiration on the floor. And then we'll get back at it. 19-16 is the score. There was a shot earlier that was a 2, not a 3-pointer. So they originally put a 3 up on the board. That got GCU to 20, but now as they look at it, it was a 2, so it's 19-16. The Lopes up on the Bears.
Well, it's been a game of runs, as is pretty much every game Baylor will play against quality opposition. Baylor was down by 7, 13-6, cut it to 13-12, and Grand Canyon has made 5 of its last 7 shots and has extended the lead, and they've got the ball back.
All right, here we go back to play. The Lopes with the ball. First-year member of the Mountain West Conference for GCU. Breidenbach, the big man, puts up a 3 from the right wing. It's no good. Rebounded by Skillings. Skillings up the floor to Isaac Williams, the 4th. Williams dribbles on the perimeter. Gives to Skillings. Knifes in. Runner, no good. Hit the right side of the rim and off. Missed on that drive. Stromer the rebound for GCU. Stromer on the perimeter. Around the screen. All the way. And got some help on the backside by Soyo. And no foul. Ball just knocked out of bounds. So pretty good defense there by the Baylor Dean.
Yeah, that guy, Dusty Stromer, is a really nice player. Played for Gonzaga a year ago. And, John, we tried to forget the dismantling of Baylor basketball a year ago up in Spokane. First game of the year where Gonzaga just had its way with Baylor. Stromer was on that team and played really well. Another great get for GCU out of the transfer, Stromer from Gonzaga.
Inbounds by GCU on their baseline. Breidenbach gives the ball to Stromer. Now on the right wing, ball goes to Brian Moore. Moore top of the key to Henley, 7 to shoot. Henley to Moore to Stromer around the perimeter. Drive in, layup, rolls in. Not bad defense, but at the end, as the shot clock was winding down, he laid it in.
Well, and he just turned the corner on his defender. I think it was Skillings. You got to, it's really good defense to get it down to about 4 or 5 on the shot clock, but then a breakdown as Stromer, again, was able to turn the corner, go baseline, and finish at the rim.
21-16, GCU on top. Bears ball. Carr drives in, baseline left. Contact on the shot. It's going to be a foul, and free throws coming for Cameron Carr. Foul is called on GCU's Nana Owusu Onanye.
I'm going with Owusu.
Nanu Owusu Onanye. We're going with Nana is what we're going for.
That's the best we can do.
6'8" grad transfer from Canada. Transfer from Brown, the Brown Bears, to GCU. Cam Carr hits the free throw.
This team this year, I believe, ought to get to the free throw line a lot. Carr can do it. Skillings can do it. Ratai can do it. I think Agbem can do it as well, penetration. It's a team that, if it can get its free throw percentage rate up, get the right guys at the line, they're going to get a lot of points there. Carr gets his second one down as well. Those guys are really hard to keep away from the rim, and they draw fouls extremely well.
Couple of free throws makes it 21-18. GCU up on Baylor. 22-18 is the score. And here knifing in for the shot. The right-hand layup at the rim is Jaden Henley. Henley, good-looking player, 6'7", 210.
And John, that's 2 layups in a row for GCU. In fact, they've made 4 of their last 5 shots, and they're shooting 60% from the floor in the first half.
Ball knocked away from Ratai. Bears save the possession. Drive in by Yesufu. Missed the shot, but the rebound by Ratai. Shot clock didn't reset. He's got to put it up, and a shot clock violation on Baylor. So they did notice. He put up the shot quickly, but didn't draw iron, so the ball goes over to GCU. Timeout on the floor with 7:21 on the clock, first half. It is GCU 23, Baylor 18. First half exhibition opener. Bryce Drew wearing the purple of GCU. Scott Drew, the green and gold of Baylor, with Homer Drew in the stands. That's a lot of fun. And this is the way, I think this is the way Scott Drew and probably Bryce would draw it up. If they're going to go against each other, probably not a regular season game, probably not an NCAA tournament game. Maybe an exhibition game is the best way to do this. Yeah,
and both teams are playing to win, no doubt. That's really what this is all about. But I think, too, after the game, it'll be, let me coach you guys, you coach us, too. I mean, we talked about that at the start of the broadcast. There's so much collective wisdom between Bryce, Homer, and Scott. Not only will Scott's team benefit from having been through this, but I think Scott and his staff will benefit from the perspective of GCU on Baylor, having played Baylor, and vice versa. And then Homer's comments around that as well. I think that might have a whole lot to do with the entire family being here.
No question. And the Lindsays are here in force also. Jake Lindsay, Dennis Lindsay, Becky Lindsay. It's great to see them. Jake coached at GCU. Now has moved on to other endeavors.
Matt Saman's in the crowd.
Matt
Saman, saw him, former Baylor player.
Maybe try to visit with him at halftime. We'll check on that. And again, they'll play 2 20-minute halves and then a 10-minute bonus time to get maybe the walk-ons, maybe some others on the floor later in the day. So that's sort of the plan for this exhibition game today. Yeah,
and again, John, at this stage, 7:21 to go in the first half. What's troubling from a Baylor perspective, and again, this is the first half of the first exhibition game, is GCU's ability to just make shots. They've made 9 of 15, that's 60%. They've made 4 of their last 5, and a couple of times Baylor has forced them into some bad shots that just went in, and that happens. But I think 2 or 3 of the last possessions, the defense for the first 20, 25 seconds of the possession was pretty good, but couldn't finish the defensive standoff with a complete stop by allowing players to go around them. And so I think that, to me, is the focal point. This team can score. It has firepower. It's got explosion, has athletes, but you're just going to have to defend to win in the league the way they want to.
Yeah, and giving up 60% shooting here in the first half, not the way to do that. Although it's just a 5-point lead for GCU, so and a long way to go in this game. Yeah,
and really, defense is about principles. And to do that, to run that effectively, everybody's got to be on the same page. It is absolutely a team sport. And so there's some growing and some learning to be done there. There's got a little ahead of the game on the trip to Germany, but didn't go over there fully loaded. So you've got 3 guys didn't make that trip who are going to get a lot of minutes this season, who are a little behind the curve in terms of learning the defense. And once they do, you'll see them take a step.
Pat, next time out, we'll talk a little bit about that German trip for the Baylor team and the experience that Baylor gained from that. Really invaluable when you talk about a whole new roster this year. Baylor, one of 9 schools in the country that has an entirely new roster going into this new season. All right, back to play. GCU with the ball. Caleb Shaw is back on the floor. Shaw firing a 3, right wing, shot no good. Long rebound pulled down by Baylor's Obi Agbum. He tries to fire the pass underneath, intended for Caden Powell, shot it past him out of bounds, turnover Bears.
Yeah, he had a good look. Had he been able to bring it down, and at the other end, Baylor's gone to a 1-3-1 zone defense, and that caught GCU a little bit on its heels. Really never attacked it, ended up with a decent-looking 3 that wouldn't go down, but the ball never touched the paint.
There's another 7-footer on the floor for the first time today. That is Dennis Evans, 7'1", from Riverside, California. Entry pass stolen away by Caden Powell for the Bears. So Baylor with the takeaway. 6.5 minutes to go. First half, 23-18. GCU leads Baylor. Obi Agbum, Baylor's leading scorer in the World University Games. Had 30 against Brazil in the gold medal game. Ball out of bounds, last touched by GCU, will stay with Baylor.
And you can just see it. It's a lack of rhythm offensively. And I think it's really just, again, if defense is about principles, offense is about chemistry. And even though this team had a bit of a trial run in Germany, not there yet. And you can see it in the first, almost 13 minutes of the second half.
Obi Agbum inbounds the ball to Caden Powell, gives to Yesufu, spins, right elbow jumper up and in. Was hurrying to get the shot off, so he was rushed, but he knocked it down on the banker from the right elbow.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys who could even get a shot off in that situation, but with his athleticism, really about anything's possible with him.
Inbounds pass to the 7'1" Evans, knocked out of bounds by Baylor. So GCU will inbound on their baseline with 20 on the shot clock. Brian Moore, the trigger man. Inbounds to Evans, right back to Moore under the basket, and he banks it in and flexes, and he'll get a technical for that.
Yeah.
But Sermon's going to team up.
He kind of gave the He-Man pose after he went right up into Ratai's chest and got the ball in. But that sort of move is an automatic technical. Not a lot of thought that has to go into the call, and that's going to send Agbum to the free throw line to shoot 2 technicals.
So Obi Agbum to the free throw line. First one is good, makes it 25-21. Bears back within 4 of GCU.
That's the first point of the afternoon for Agbum, and he was a prolific scorer in Germany in the World University Games.
Averaged 20 points per game over there. Missed the second free throw, so it remains a 4-point deficit for the Bears. But he really came on. I mean, it was like, I think the coaches were a little bit amazed. When the lights came on, Obi Agbum turned it on.
Oh, he did. And it's interesting, the 3 guards that are going to play a lot for Baylor are very different one from the other. We'll talk about that as the game goes by.
Agbum drives, kicks it back outside to Yesufu. 3-pointer, no good. Ball out of bounds. And over to the Lopes.
You know, Agbum can really score. We talked about that on that last possession. Williams is a guy that is just a jet, can really cover a lot of ground, great defensive player. J.J. White a little more under control, probably more of a true point guard than the other 2.
Left elbow jumper, that is no good by Nana. And the follow-up slam attempt is no good. Bears bring it the other way. Agbum drives, shot blocked away. Tried to lay it in. Bears get the rebound. Ratai drives into the paint. Drops it off for Caden Powell for the dunk.
That's a great play by Ratai, who's been a little bit slow out of the gate, but finally got into the lane and could showcase his ability to pass the ball in tight quarters. Not only is he a really good player at the power forward spot, he's a tremendous passer.
25-23. Here's a jumper left side by Stromer, a three-pointer. Dusty Stromer knocks down the triple.
Call him Dusty Stroker. He can stroke it. I mean, we saw that a year ago at Gonzaga. That's what he does best. And he's 6'6", so he's really hard to guard. You give him any room at all out at the three-point line, he's going to make you pay.
Showed it right there, knocking down the three that puts GCU up by 5. Again, it is Ratai to Caden Powell. Another down-low bucket good by Caden Powell. 28-25, GCU leads Baylor. Here's a leaner in the paint, shot no good. Dan Skillings the rebound for the Bears. Skillings, the Cincinnati transfer. A lot of experience there. To Ratai, runner, no on the layup. Stromer the rebound and the run out for GCU. Pull up three, no good. Trying to get back-to-back threes. Skillings the rebound for the Bears. Now to Obi Agbum up the left side of the floor. Bears wearing the home white, shooting the basket to our left. Gives it to Skillings, who knocks down the three-pointer.
I tell you, had he taken half a step back, he's out of bounds on the far side of the floor. That's a big three. Both teams have a lot of explosion, and both teams, their shooters anyway, have the green light to just let it fly. Been a really entertaining first half. We're deadlocked at 28.
How about that? Three by Skillings ties the game at 28 apiece. Timeout, GCU comes with 3:43 to play here in the first half.
Bears done a nice job on the glass. 15-10, they lead that particular battle. This is a strong physical rebounding team. They're going to get some more length when Bodo Boda gets back, but so far so good with the lineup that they have out there. And the defense has stiffened some, which is what I think the Baylor coaching staff was looking for. But what I'm impressed with, John, is, again, just the firepower, offensive firepower of this team. Look a little clunky at times, but then there are other times where they're just like a stick of lit dynamite. Got a number of guys that can really produce.
Timeout continues, apparently full time out, and gives us a chance, Pat, to talk about those World University games for the Bears. What a great experience. You know, you couldn't have drawn it up much better for a team that had all new players, nobody back from last year's team. You'd want to get some extra practice time in the summer. They got that. And then they got 6 games to play together, plus the bonding time of being together for 2 weeks in Germany.
Yeah, and we got to go to Germany.
Yeah, we did.
That's right. Cassandra Nunley joined me, and there was a nice contingent. Caden Powell's mom came. Nice contingent of Baylor fans.
And his grandma.
And his grandma, I should say that, who is a ball, by the way.
She really is.
And we just had a wonderful time. Got to do more than just watch basketball. We watched every one of them. We did every game. But it was a great experience, and you just can't duplicate that. It was a disappointing end. This team played for the gold medal, had a 26-point lead. I shouldn't even be bringing this up. Late in the ballgame in the third quarter and lost that. But I chalk that up to, again, just not understanding in the team concept how to finish a game, where the ball needed to be, that kind of thing, and it showed. But the experience that they got, and I think the bonding that took place primarily off the floor, where they were able to just hang together, was invaluable.
It's huge, isn't it? Yeah, and a lot of times if you play a foreign tour, you get 10 days of practice leading into that, and then you get, the trip. Mm-hmm. This was, I don't know if it was unlimited practice, but it was much more than 10 days, and Baylor able to take advantage of that. And then 6 games over there. They did lead Brazil by 26, and that last quarter kind of came tumbling down. Brazil won the gold medal, but Baylor came home with the silver.
Yeah, and I remember, John, coming over and watching some of the practices leading up to that trip, and we're talking, early June, middle of June before the trip, and it was intense. I mean, they were getting after it every day, and they were, 3-hour practices. These guys were worn out by the time July rolled around. So certainly the time in Germany was great, but that practice time they had together where they did have everybody available and ready to play in practice anyway, may have been the key to the whole thing.
GCU down to 50% shooting from the floor, 11 of 22. Baylor up to 40%. Bears 10 of 25. GCU ball as play resumes. 7-1 player Demerel is back on the floor for GCU. Took a hard fall earlier in the half. Here's Stromer on the perimeter. Yesufu took the ball away and then stepped on the out-of-bounds line as he tried to pass the ball down the floor.
You know,
a nice steal by Yesufu.
Yeah, very much so. You've seen flashes of that athleticism, I think, as much on the defensive end as you have on the offense. You've seen Williams make plays. You've seen that play. Yesufu's made a couple of them. And I think Skillings made another really nice play defensively. So, I mean, if you can score, if you're a top 20 offensive team, you ought to be a lot better than 80 in adjusted defensive efficiency. And I think that's the message to this team this year.
GCU puts the ball back in play. 3:20 to play first half. Tied at 28. Baylor and Grand Canyon University. Pass to the perimeter is stolen away by Cam Carr. Carr up the floor, gives to Skillings. Bumped on the shot, and it rolls in. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
What a play. I mean, you could tell Skillings knew he was going to get fouled, and he wanted to make sure while he was getting fouled that he got a shot off and at least gave it a chance to get up there and in. It's exactly what happened. He was knocked to the floor, but he just a little flick of his wrist, ball played around on the rim a few bounces and then ended up going in. Chance for a three-point play here and to give the Bears a three-point lead if he can convert.
Skillings looking for double digits. Baylor's leading scorer with 9 points. Free throw would make it 10. He's 4 of 5 from the floor. Free throw is good. Used every bit of the rim and dropped in.
He did. You know, the law of physics, I think he defied those. he hit between the backboard and the rim, and the ball just, I don't know, stuck there for a second and rolled in.
Here is a whistle and a foul away from the ball. It's on Baylor's Tunde Yesufu. Didn't see exactly what that was. Tunde, highly thought of recruit from California. 6'5", 215-pounder.
Great kid, too.
Yeah.
I mean, just all these guys, first free throw is good. I mean, job number one is you got to be able to play. If you can't play, you're not coming here. But a close second, if it is a second, is you've got to fit the culture. And that makes the pie a little bit smaller. But Coach Drew's been able to bring the right kids in. And it showed. You and I spent some time with them in Germany. This is a good bunch of guys.
Henley at the free throw line for GCU. It's a couple. It's a 1-point Baylor lead, 31-30. Mayo set to check back in for Baylor. Skillings on the left wing. Looks to drive, got popped in the face inadvertently. No call there, gives to Carr. Carr knifes in, scoops it up, shot no good. Rebound GCU, Nana. Gives the ball back to Brian Moore in the front court. GCU in the purple uniform shoots to the basket to our right here in the first half, which has 2:28 remaining.
That's really good defense, John. There a couple of times that we saw earlier in the game, GCU able to turn the corner on just man-to-man defense, isolated, and that time they tried it twice. Williams cut off Moore, and that second time, Yesufu cut off Shaw. And that's the kind of defense that you just have to make it really difficult for the other team to score. It's a lot easier to score if you're finishing plays at the rim. Neither one of those guys could get close to it.
All right, so Baylor ball, Bears up one, 31-30. Yesufu, three, left side, bangs it home for three.
On the great pass, a great find by Williams. He was on the right side of the floor, jumped up, and it was a skip pass about 30 feet across the floor to Yesufu, just catch and shoot.
Nana puts up a three, and the big man answers with a three of his own from the top of the key. Pulls it back to a 1-point game, 34-33. Baylor up on GCU. Isaac Williams drives, passes, stolen away by Stromer. Stromer drops it off and gives the ball to Jaden Henley, who dunks it in.
Yeah, it's the sixth turnover of the half, but that is the, it is just the 6 point, actually make it 8 points now. for GCU, 8 of their 35 on Baylor turnovers.
GCU regains the lead, 35-34 over Baylor. Agbum to Skillings, long-range three, and he hits it. That was another one, just barely inbounds.
Doesn't that remind you of what he did to Baylor when he was at Cincinnati?
We did see
when
that.
he gets lit up like that, you've got to go guard him, and then he is a real problem. 2 long-range threes for Skillings.
Baylor regains the lead, 1:07 to go in the first half, 37-35, Bears on top. Here's Moore on the perimeter, gives to Stromer, far side of the floor. Stromer to Nana, guarded by Skillings. 2 seconds, Stromer throws it up, it's an air ball. Good defense by Baylor.
Really good defense. I mean, when your last shot, your desperation shot to beat the shot clock is about a 32-footer fall away, that's pretty good defense.
Even for Stromer, he wasn't going to make that shot.
And the big difference is right now the Bears have built a wall at about the 3-point line, and they're not letting anybody come inside that. Makes a huge difference.
So 48.2 seconds to go here in the first half. Bears ball leading by 2, 37-35. Isaac Williams into the paint. Back outside to Agbum. Gives to Isaac Williams on the left wing. Williams cross court to Skillings. There's that spot, head fake. This time he drives, scoops it up and in.
Talk about explosive play. He has long-range threes, 2 of those, and then that kind of play. He's a guy that can change the complexion of a game with just 2 or 3 shots, and he's sort of done that here as the Bears have gone up by 4, their largest lead.
How about 15 in the first half by Dan Skillings? Welcome to Waco, Dan Skillings. 6 of 7 from the floor, and he's got 7 rebounds to go along with it. So Baylor's leading scorer and rebounder in the first 20 minutes. Stromer drives in, runner no good. Skillings the rebound, 3-quarter court shot, that is no good. But the Bears reach halftime on a bit of a roll, up by 4 on GCU. 39-35, Bears lead the Lopes at halftime.
Yeah, and John Skillings is one of 3 or 4 guys that can have the kind of performance we've seen in the first half, which really bodes well for this team. But you're right, 15 points. He's 6 of 7 from the floor. He's made both of his threes, his only free throw. He's got 8 rebounds to go along with that. That is some heavy lifting by the transfer from Cincinnati.
So halftime from Foster Pavilion, 39-35. Baylor leads GCU. GCU had the early advantage on Baylor. Bears made a run, caught up, then took the lead, and they lead by 4 here at the intermission. Give you first half stats coming up in just a bit. And in fact, we will fill 15 minutes here at halftime.
Here we go.
Pat, as we're glad you're with us for this streaming presentation of Baylor basketball, their exhibition opener. What stood out besides Dan Skillings in the first 20 minutes?
Well, it just looks rusty a little bit, and that's to be expected. I say rusty, that's really not the right word. It just looks a little clunky, maybe. You can tell there is firepower on this team. There are guys that can really score, but who needs the ball when and who's the right 5 together at the same time. I mean, all that stuff is a bit of a work in progress. But, good news is they scored 39 in the first half. They shot it at 47%. Grand Canyon, I thought, got easier shots than they needed to get until about the last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half, which is the point at which the Bears surged. Got big buckets, got big stops, but then big buckets at the other end, and that's why they're up 4 at halftime. A lot of work, I think, to be done defensively, but I think we knew that coming in.
All right, let's go ahead and look at the first half stats. They add up to a 39-35 Baylor win over Grand Canyon. We'll remind you this is the exhibition opener for Scott Drew and the Bears. They'll play a second exhibition game October 26th. That's a Sunday in Indianapolis against Indiana. That will be at Gamebridge Fieldhouse, home of the Indiana Pacers. So as Pat said earlier, that'll be nice and probably a pretty good crowd in attendance there. That's October 26th. And Ty Beard, Baylor's Director of Basketball Operations, has set up for the team to stay at the same Marriott
there you go.
Where they stayed in the bubble when the Bears won the national championship. How great is that?
Well, do you remember the big bracket that was on the side of that hotel?
Yeah.
And we would walk over past that thing on the way to the arena wherever they were playing. And every game it was one step closer in the bracket to the national championship. And Any opportunity we have to talk about that, I'm not going to waste it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of that,
Yes, sir.
that big bracket that goes by on my screensaver. So great memory there. But that'll be the exhibition game number 2, October 26th in Indianapolis against Indiana. The regular season opener is Monday, November 3rd here in Foster Pavilion as Baylor hosts UT Rio Grande Valley. First 3 games of the season are at home. November 3rd against UTRGV. November 9th, a Sunday against Washington. That's a doubleheader, the Baylor men and women. And then Friday, November 14th against Tarleton State. First 3 of the year. And then they'll go to Las Vegas and play in a tournament there the week of Thanksgiving. All right, hold off on those stats, Pat, for just a second. We have Matt Saman joining us here, courtside. And I can mention, we checked with compliance. Okay, so we're compliant. We can say you coach at a local high school team.
Definitely.
So we can say welcome back to Waco. We're glad you're here. We're not going to go any further than that. But it's great to see you and great to have you in Waco.
Oh, it's so good to be back down here and to be able to see you guys all the time now. You're not going to be able to get rid of me.
We like that.
We're off to a good start. This is our exhibition interview.
Exhibition game.
That's right.
That's right. And we've got 11 minutes to fill, so you need to stay here for a while.
Wow, I think I can help with that.
I think so. How has the move and the transition been for you?
It's been awesome. My wife and I are both at that school and love the community. The staff is great, and it's just been so much fun getting to know the players. We've been putting in a lot of time, and they worked really hard and setting a new culture. They've been great.
Talk about thinking all the way back to your time here, which was, I'm sorry, Matt, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's an experience that even prompted you to write a book, The Leftovers. Just to take everybody back, your perspective on that, coming in here, you were a leftover, and really, as you think back over the history of the program, there were certain milestones along the way, and that one in particular, I thought, ultimately led to a national championship. I mean,
Wow.
I think Scott would say that, and probably has said that to you.
Over the years, there's been a lot of people that, Pastor Weibel, a lot of different people that have made a comment like that just about what that team did and what it meant to everybody and how it kept things going. And we were 8-21 that year, and I think what we did really well was play hard and continue to show up. And within 5 years after that, so you're talking about milestones, like us just winning a Big 12 game that year, milestone. Mm-hmm. And we won 3 of them. Weren't supposed to win any. And then 5 years later, they're in March Madness, huge milestone. And then 5 or years after that, they're making deep runs and challenging some of the best programs, and then leading all the way to the incredible run they had a few years ago. And just to be a small part of that, I think myself, Terrence Thomas, and those guys, we're just grateful, proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. How has that experience shaped you, I guess, first of all, as a coach?
I thought early on I wanted to be more like Bobby Knight or Dave Bliss as a coach. You know, they were very similar. Just that was what I was around, and that was very popular. Coach Drew came in as a 32-year-old, and I think he was really on the cutting edge of culture and be in a positive one where guys are working not out of fear, but because they love it, they love each other. And the word joy, obviously, they've made it a big thing, and we didn't use it like it is today, but I could see the effects of it and the way that him and the staff brought that joy and energy every day. That's the coach I want to be like, is like him. It's kind of funny, it just took me a few years to see the difference of what really elevates performance and makes this special is having that type of culture and atmosphere, not the kind of you do this or else, that resulting type. He's transformational, not transactional, and I think that's kind of how I want to be.
Yeah. I mean, again, and John and I have been around for a long time. One of my takeaways is it's absolutely X's and O's, but it's also about emotional intelligence and the ability to relate and connect and those kind of things. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, definitely. And he's been a great X's and O's guy. He was with us. I didn't necessarily like the style that we played,
right,
but it was necessary. And it's kind of I think he's done that over there. Even in this game, necessary to go to the zone. And it created a different rhythm and feel from the opponent. And then when they switched back to man, their rhythm was different. They were attacking in a much more they were cautious than they were early on. So like that's a great move by them. And it was fun that I think with the championship he was able to be appreciated for his X's and O's, because everybody saw him as a we care about the players. You know, people lives are being changed in our program, and that is super important. But out in the real world, sometimes it's just the winning. And at what can you win the big moments in the big games? And he's proven he can do that, and in different ways.
Visiting with Matt Saman, former Baylor standout, now coaching high school here in Central Texas. Were you always going into coaching in your mind?
Since 7th grade, every coach I had told me I would. And my high school coach said, you'd be great at it, but don't do it because there's no money in it. And then,
you know what, Matt? That sounds real familiar, by the way.
Yeah. And then
you heard that.
Yeah.
My senior year, Coach Drew and them used to call me Coach Saman. And the plan was to go to grad school and join the staff. And then I played overseas for a year. And then you guys know my story. Just kind of lost my passion for the game. But then started coaching a group of 8th grade boys during the summer and fell in love with that all over again. The problem, and I've heard a lot of coaches say this, that they viewed themselves only as a player, and that's my only plan, and then realized that, man, the coaching side, I still get to be a part of a team, and I actually probably love that just as much.
And then when you went into coaching, the bug bit you pretty hard, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
When you got into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the danger of letting anything in our lives become the main thing. Like, you think as a player, well, basketball is going to control your life. It can control your life as a coach, to where it's even at the high school level. Like, I found myself like, am I taking this too serious? And my wife has to remind me, like, it's just a game. And but we care so much. But keeping the main thing, I think for all of us is super important.
Yeah. So, unfair question. You've looked at them for 20 minutes. What are your observations of this team?
That's a good question for Coach Saman.
I mean, it's a 20-minute glimpse.
I like when we can play with some pace offensively, because without a true, my first thought was, who can go get a bucket if it's stagnant or neutral 5-on-5? And I haven't really seen anybody able to do that, but a couple guys, number 10, 0 is such a big body, but in transition with some good gaps, I think they can find a way to break down. And then if we're playing against them, the defense, when they're a little bit disorganized, I think we find better shots. I think we need to take more catch and shoot threes as soon as we're open, like 0 did over on the right. It was a simple drive. Defense took 2 steps, and then it was a quick kick for an open 3, because those are worth so much. The moment we hesitate on that and we put it down, I just feel like our shooting percentage goes down a ton, and then we're guarded tightly. And then I think we need to change it up and junk it up defensively, and not junk it up isn't a negative thing, but keep them off their rhythm and guessing, to where we just make teams a little bit more hesitant and checking rather than confident in knowing what to do. Because I don't know if we just go toe-to-toe 5-on-5 neutral, like the other teams may be able to out-execute. And this is just after 20 minutes. But I love the spirit and energy, and Waco's own Caden Powell.
Yeah.
Back seeing him out there, that's pretty
Midway
cool.
High School product.
I think he
Caden
is.
Powell.
I think he is. Yeah, pretty cool.
Good. That's cool to see. Final thought, your book is still available for folks who haven't read it. We would highly recommend it. Did you do an addendum to that at one point, or is it the same as the original?
Well, yeah, self-published it back in 2013, and then when they went ahead and won it, a Christian publisher came and said, we'd love to revamp this.
That's what it was.
Was able to go through it a second time, and the big difference between self-published and an actual publisher, for sure.
Well, we highly recommend it. The Leftovers by Matt Saman. It's great to have you with us.
Man, this was a blast. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you. I'm glad we ran into you.
Yeah.
And we'll see more of you.
Oh, I'm trying to be at every home game.
Very good.
Yep.
That's great. Matt Saman back in Waco, coaching at a local high school, and we're glad that he is with us here at halftime. All right, Pat, the team's coming back on the floor. Let's take a look at the first half stats. 39-35, Baylor on top of GCU here at halftime. Let's look at those first half numbers.
Yeah, well, offensively, the Bears got 25 of their 39 from 2 different guys. Dan Skillings, I should say, had 15. and then Tunde Yesufu with 10, the only double-digit scores for Baylor in the first half. Yesufu made 3 of 6, 2 of 4 threes, couple of free throws, and had those 10. Skillings added 8 rebounds to his 15 points, and so just was outstanding. I mean, at times, you talk about a wow factor, he certainly brought it in the first half. Obi Ogman with just 1 point in the first half, did have a couple of rebounds, couple of assists. Michael Ratai was 0 for 5 from the floor in the first half, did not score, did not get to the free throw line, and had just 2 rebounds in the first half. So it's a guy, a highly acclaimed transfer from Oregon State, and I think just maybe pressing a little bit in the first half, but his numbers were not what you would expect him to be. Cameron Carr got 7 in the first half. A bucket for Isaac Williams. Williams with an assist to go along with his points and a rebound. And then Caden Powell had 4 points. Really, I think on back-to-back buckets. Took those 3 shots and made 2 of those. That gets the Bears up to 39. Bears shot it at 47% first half. They made 5 of 9, 55% from a three-point line, and then 6 of 7 from the free throw line. So shot it really well, but again, most of the production coming from just 2 players in the first half. Grand Canyon got 5 from Nana Awusu Anane.
There you go.
I'm going with that.
I like it.
And he had a couple of rebounds. That's the last time I'll say it. F.A. Demerol with a bucket and a couple of rebounds. 6 points for Brian Moore, the transfer from Norfolk State. Dusty Stromer, the transfer from Gonzaga, had the first bucket of the game, a duck off the opening tip. Had 7 in the first half. And then Jaden Henley, the UNLV transfer, with 13 points in the first half. So 13 of Grand Canyon's 35 provided by Henley in the first half. Grand Canyon shot it well as also 50% from the floor. They made 13 of 26, 3 of 9 from a three-point line, and 6 of 6 at the free throw line. John, the difference in a close game like this, where the numbers are fairly similar, you look for a couple of things that separated the teams. Bears had 16 rebounds to Grand Canyon's 11, and of those 16 rebounds, 5 offensive, which led to 5 second chance points. Grand Canyon with no second chance points, and then the Bears were able to get 13 points from Grand Canyon off of their 6 turnovers. So you put those together, that to me is the separation. Both teams with a representative number of threes, some outstanding performances by just a few guys. But if you're looking for what's going to split hairs here, I think it's that, second chance points and points off turnovers.
All right, 39-35 is our score as we get set to begin the second half. Our halftime show is brought to you by Blue Bonnet Health Services. Your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Blue Bonnet. Beginning the second half, Baylor up 39-35 on GCU here in the exhibition opener for both these teams. Scott Drew on one bench, Bryce Drew on another. Homer Drew in the stands, which is a lot of fun. And we'll visit with Homer Drew coming up a little later in our stream. That'll be good to get his thoughts. Well, you know, there's a lot of coaching going on between the ears of Homer Drew right now.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting. You think it's really difficult to watch sons play against each other. I think he's just got his analytical coach's hat on.
Yeah.
I mean, now he knows,
right.
Obviously, and
Right.
that's a big deal. It's relevant. But I think this is an opportunity for him to help both of his sons make their teams better. I just think it's cool.
And they'll lean on him a lot.
Oh, they will.
You know, you've heard Scott Drew say a lot of times after a late-night game, those three will get on a call together and really dissect each other's games.
Yeah, and their playing styles, you can tell, are very similar. GCU and Baylor play, offensively in particular, in very similar ways.
All right, here we go, back to play. Bears have the ball to begin the second half. Yesufu has it on the left wing. He'll drive in. Shot no good on the runner. Nana has the rebound for GCU. In a hurry. Up the floor to Moore. Good ball movement around the perimeter by GCU starting this second half. Drive. Scoop layup is good by Brian Moore to start the second half.
You know, easier said than done, but you can't let that guy get there. I mean, if he breaks you down defensively, he is a true point guard, and he's just going to pick you apart. That time he finished at the rim.
Makes it 39-37. Baylor's lead cut to 2 on GCU. Moore on the perimeter falls down hard, and he's holding his right shoulder. Can tell if he ran into one of the Baylor defenders or slipped down, but that shoulder does not look good.
Yeah, you know, I don't think he fell on it. I think he ran into a player and must have just hit it on a bad spot. Yeah.
Brian Moore, the grad student from Harlem, New York. Played at Northeast Oklahoma A&M, Murray State, Norfolk State last year. And now at GCU, he's going to be helped off to the GCU bench. And the Lopes will continue with possession of the ball. We're 53 seconds into the second half. Baylor leading by 2, 39-37.
Almost like a stinger, you know, because he raised his arm up and winced in pain.
Yeah.
But then looked at his teammates and said, let's go, and they kind of shoot him off the floor. I mean, this is an exhibition game. Don't need to play hurt.
Inbounds it comes to Ratai, drives into the paint, kicks it back outside. Obi Agbum, 3, no good. Tip, no good. That was Caden Powell who went for the tip, couldn't get it. Then the ball goes out of bounds. The Baylor players are convinced that it went out of bounds off GCU. Marcus Pettigrew said it was the Lopes ball, but then Chris Pacey runs in and he overturns him. So it's Baylor's ball, and here's another GCU player down. That's Caleb Shaw.
You know, 2 of them.
Oh, 2 of them.
Yep.
Good grief.
Yep, and one of them holding his mouth, seeing some blood from his mouth, and the other one, I think Casey Shaw, may have taken an elbow, not sure.
Wow.
But that's 3 guys down, John, in the first possession of the second half for GCU.
Minute, exactly. So Breidenbach, the big 6'10 grad transfer from Washington, he's the one who had some blood in the mouth and has a towel covering his mouth going to the far end of the bench. And now Caleb Shaw is up. Caleb Shaw's up and exhorting his teammates as he goes to the bench. He looks like he took a shot to the eye. Doug Sermon's having a word with Bryce Drew. Think about bench decorum. I'm not sure what that might be. Still having the discussion.
As he is escorting Bryce Drew back inside the coach's box.
Right. Bryce wasn't particularly upset at anything, it didn't look like, but Doug Sermon's, I think he was talking more about, it's the assistant coaches he was talking about.
Yeah. Not real chatty. Like, we're not going to chat it up.
Don't
with
make conversation. Here we go. Back to play. Baylor inbounds. It's the ball to Yesufu, now to Skillings. Skillings spins. Went up for the shot. He was covered up. Tried to pass it away, and it's stolen by GCU. Lopes have the ball on the left wing. It is Jaden Henley outside the arc. Yesufu on him defensively. Still with his dribble alive. Into the paint, free throw line jumper is good. That was a one-man band there by Jaden Henley.
Yeah, and that's a good shot, and, you know, he's a really good player, particularly on the offensive side. Nice defense by Ratai. Sometimes it's just all you can do, make him take and make a difficult shot and give him credit when he makes it.
First 4 points of the second half belong to the Lopes. It is tied at 39, Baylor and GCU. Nice. Yesufu, a 3 from the left wing, that is good.
Yeah, he is 3 for 5 now from a three-point line, and that guy's dangerous. When he can make threes like that, has got such a burst, he can get about anywhere he wants to get on the floor. If you've got to go out there and guard him closely at the three-point line, it's a problem.
Bears go up 42-39. Here's a turnaround jump hook that is good by F.A. Demerel. 7-1 freshman Demerel with the 2-pointer. Bears by 1, 42-41. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Agbum back to Yesufu, a 3. It's time from the right side. It's no good. Loose ball knocked around. Yesufu has it for the Bears. Good hustle to get to that loose ball. 3 left wing is good by Michael Ratai.
Yeah, really needed that. That's his first bucket of the game. First good shot in 6 attempts. And just a nice rotation of the ball got him a good-looking shot.
Stromer had an open look at a 3 from the left wing. It rimmed out, no good. Rebound Ratai. Michael Ratai, the German freshman, brings it up. Gives the ball to Yesufu. Now back to Agbum. Now to Caden Powell, top of the key. To Agbum for 3. It's no good. Ball tipped around and out of bounds. And Chris Pacey going to stop play. Let's see what he says. See what are they talking about?
Maybe they're looking at the replay monitor.
Oh, okay. They were looking at that ball maybe before it went out of bounds. So a review here. on the video board, brought to you by Green Eye Associates.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm going to limit the comparisons of Tunde Yesufu to VJ Edgecombe, but just in terms of athletic ability, those two guys are special athletes. And I used to say a year ago with VJ, they're just plays on the floor, balls on the floor that nobody else can get besides him. If he wants it and it's up for grabs, equally available to everybody, he's going to get it 9.5 times out of 10. Yesufu is going to bring that same dimension. There were a couple of balls on that last Baylor possession that were up for grabs, and he just had them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how he gets there so quickly, but it's I think it is just athleticism. And then when you add his skill level to it, he's in pretty high cotton with all of the first-round draft picks from Baylor's freshman class, the one-and-dones. He could be the next one. We said earlier, might not be the best player on this team by the end of the year, but he is no doubt the best prospect.
13 points so far for Tunde Yesufu. 4 of 10 from the floor. He's got a couple of rebounds. Baylor's leading scorer still Dan Skillings Jr., the transfer from Cincinnati, 15 points and 8 rebounds. He's Baylor's leading rebounder by a bunch. Nobody else has more than 3. So after they review that play, ball stays with GCU, and they inbound the length of the floor away from their basket, down by 4 to the Bears, 45-41. Brian Moore dribbles between the rings, angles to the left side. Whistle's going to stop play away from the ball. Caden Powell is looking for blood. He's going to have to be attended to. I think on his right forearm or elbow, Caden Powell has some blood. And maybe the big guy, F.A. Demerel, did also for GCU.
Yep.
So that'll bring Mayo Soyo onto the floor for Baylor as Caden Powell gets attended to.
You know, Soyo is a guy they really like. Now, he's not exactly where they need for him to be now, but, I mean, he is a young guy. He's 6'10", 240 pounds, incredibly good athlete, a little bit raw just in terms of his ability to play. But with the injury to Bodo, he's going to get minutes, and he can be really productive.
GCU ball. Driving into the paint. Nana. Shot contested there by Ratai. And no foul, ball out of bounds. Ratai saying that, I think he's saying it should be Baylor's ball, but it'll be GCU's to inbound on their baseline. 16:26 on the clock, second half, 45-41. Went for the inbounds alley-oop, and Mayo gets in there and busts up the plans. Baylor comes away with the ball. Agbum to Yesufu, to Ratai for 3, in and out. Good ball movement by Baylor. A foul is going to be called on Mayo Soyo going for the rebound.
Yeah, and that's a good look, a really wide open shot, a 3 from Ratai in the corner. This guy a year ago at Oregon State was a 36% three-point shooter, and that number is more likely to go up than go down. So he's got the green light to fire away, and it's 6'8", a guy that can score at a number of different positions on the floor is, again, just really hard to guard.
Caleb Shaw on the perimeter. Nephew of Scott Drew, Caleb Shaw. Now the ball on the wing. Skillings off the bench, set to check in. Runner shot, no good. Ball goes out of bounds. Will stay with GCU. Ball out of bounds into their bench area. That'll get us to a timeout. 15:46 to play, second half from Foster Pavilion. It's Baylor 45, GCU 41. We will keep it right here during the timeout. Pat, what do you think? There's some other guys we haven't seen yet. We may see in the 10-minute extra period. So they'll play 2 20-minute halves like a normal game, then a 10-minute bonus time period. What about some of those other guys we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's new to me.
Yeah.
The 10-minute period.
Yeah, it is.
I've never experienced that. I mean, I've seen it in closed exhibitions, but, you know, there are just so many guys on this roster and so many positions, not necessarily in the top 5, but or even the top 7 that are up for grabs, and guys that can really make an impression and can make an impact. But there's just a big question mark around who those guys are. So I think that's what the 10-minute period is all about. I don't know what the approach Coach Drew will have in that one. But I think you'll see some of the guys that are playing now that will get some time in that extra period as well. I mean, Mayo is another guy that just needs to play and play a lot. I mean, you look at him, he is raw, but he is physically gifted. You don't get 6'10", 240 in athletic very often, so they've got to grow him and get him some experience, and I think maybe that'll be part of what that extra period's all about.
Yeah, we'll see some guys like Will Kirkendall's a transfer from Arizona. Drew Perry is a freshman, Baylor family through and through, son of James and Lydia Perry. We'll probably see him in the extra period. How about Andre Iguodala? The name sounds familiar. It should. He's a true freshman from Lafayette, California, and Link Academy. Probably see him some minutes in that extra period.
Yeah, we saw Iggy in Germany, and a couple of those games there were blowouts, but he got good minutes, and I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
You know, physically he's probably a year away, and they've turned Coach Melton loose on Iggy and said, work your magic. And so I think he's in the process of doing that. But that's a good young lineup, and we're going to see more of them in the extra period. And, John, in this game, as we go back to play, you're going to see J.J. White and Isaac Williams on the floor at the same time. You got those two guys, and then Agmem. Those are your complement of guards that are going to get all the minutes. And I think it's just really interesting to see how those guys will play together. We said earlier, they don't play the same. I mean, J.J. White is more of a point guard, less of a scorer. Ogbem's the scorer, and Williams is the jet. Williams is the guy defensively that can be really disruptive. But how they play, when they play, do they play together, is still very much a work in progress. But you've got two of those three on the floor right now as go back to play. Baylor up by 4.
All right, here we go. GCU with the ball coming out of the timeout. Baylor leading by 4, 45-41. Henley on the perimeter. Skillings on him defensively. Dribbles to the right side, looks to drive. Little push off with the right arm. And his shot rolls in from the foul line extended.
That guy has been really good today. Henley now with 17 in the game. Only double-digit scorer on the roster for Grand Canyon. 17 of the Lopes, 43 in the game. And 6 of 9 from the floor has been hard to guard.
Soyo has it top of the key for the Bears. Fires it into the corner to Isaac Williams. Nice pass out to Skillings. To White for 3, and it's good.
And that was classic good shot, better shot, best shot. And White was the guy that was at the end of that pass around. And Skillings turned down a really good-looking 3. Williams was the catalyst to get that going.
J.J. White, his first points of the day. A three-pointer puts Baylor up by 5, 48-43. Here's Moore, looks to penetrate. Now passes it back outside to Demerel. To Moore for 3, rattles out, fight for the rebound. And White comes away with it, but he stepped on the in line. Running it up the floor, he just stepped out of bounds, and the ball goes back to GCU.
Yeah, and Baylor, again, looking at the rebounding battle, has 8 offensive rebounds. They've got 8 second chance points. And we talk about specialty points in any game. That's an area where the Bears, I mean, it's almost a Baylor staple, is offensive rebounding percentage and second chance points. They work really hard on that, and so far so good in this game. That's one of the reasons they're up by 5.
Pat, correct me subtly if I call him JoJo White. When I see JJ White or think JJ White, I think JoJo White.
I have resisted that urge about 10 times already. Not to correct you, to just not call him.
Sorry, I put that thought in your head. Inbounds it comes, and Stromer with the head fake, and then the shot up and in, right side of the paint. Stromer with another bucket. He's got 9 on the day. It's 48-45, Bears by 3. Isaac Williams drives in. His defender flies by, and he hits the layup, and then there is a technical called on Baylor's Isaac Williams. Chris Pacey says, I think by his motion he gave a little forearm to one of the GCU players after the bucket.
You know, it's the same call that the officials made earlier. Was it Shaw? It might have been. It was a GCU player.
Yeah.
Called for a technical foul. Same sort of thing. I don't know. We'll talk to somebody who knows. I'm not sure the officials are going to engage us around it, but it's some sort of taunting probably. You know, plays over. You don't flex your muscles.
Right,
you don't.
Right.
And I think it's just a little extracurricular.
I asked Marcus Pettigrew prior to the game any points of emphasis this year, and he said physicality. And I said, what does that mean?
You know what? Good luck with that.
Right. That's exactly what I said to
I
him.
mean,
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Physicality.
Yeah.
Wait till we get into Big 12 games.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see about that
Right.
come January.
All right, one of two free throws by Stromer after the technical foul. It's 50-46, Bears on top. 14-minute mark, second half. Exhibition opener, Baylor and GCU at Foster Pavilion in Waco. Scott Drew on one bench, Bryce Drew on the other. Breidenbach in the corner. Oh, nice defensive play by Cam Carr.
That's a great defensive play by an incredible athlete. You just can't do it any better than that. And he's guarding Henley, who has been far and away GCU's most productive offensive player. And he just rode his hip as Henley was taking him to the rim through the middle of the lane and had that left arm cocked and ready whenever Henley let it go. Carr just put it out of bounds.
Great play defensively by Carr. Gives Baylor the ball, up by 4, 13-40 and counting. Skillings into the paint. Look at that move. Boy, he was schooling his defender, and then on the sky-high layup attempt that rolled out, no good. Rebound, run the other way. Here's a spinning banker on the right side that is good by Brian Moore.
Yeah, that's a tough play. Again, back-to-back plays, Baylor defensively made it really difficult for GCU to get the shot they wanted.
Around the perimeter, it's Carr for three, and it's good from the left wing.
This team can make threes. They're 9 of 17 now in the game, and, John, that's the difference. That's why Baylor is up by 5. Big difference in the 9-3 made threes difference in the game, heavily favoring Baylor.
Into the paint, Nana, jump hook, shot, no good. Rebound, Carr runs it the other way for the Bears. Carr looks like one of those Energizer bunnies that could just run all day.
Yep, and he can't.
Yeah. He gets down low, and he is fouled on the shot attempt. Let's see if Carr has free throws coming. Foul is called on GCU's Wilhelm Breidenbach.
You know, we talked to Matt Saman at halftime about really what Baylor is, what he thought they should do and what they're doing now. And that's just open the game a little bit and make it less of a half-court game, keep Grand Canyon off balance, but be able to showcase some of the guys that can really make a difference, and this guy Carr is one of them. It was Skillings in the first half, and then here recently it's been Carr. But think about that combination. You've got Agban who can score, you've got Carr, you've got Skillings, and you've got Yesufu. Each of those 4 guys can break a game wide open.
Yesufu back on the floor. J.J. White to the Baylor bench. Another free throw coming for Carr. He hit the first one to put Baylor up by 6. Maybe the high water mark today. 6-point lead for the Bears. Make it 7 as he hits both free throws. 55-48. Baylor up on GCU. 12:37 and counting, second half. Moore into the front court. Gives to Stromer, to Breidenbach. Now to Shaw on the left side. Shaw to Moore. Could have taken a long-range 3. Didn't do so. He's stripped of the ball. It's Skillings. It's a 2-on-1 break, and his pass to Yesufu is stolen away by Shaw. GCU has it back. Stromer a 3. Rims out left corner. Rebound by Skillings for the Bears. Passes to the trailer. That is Obi Agbem. Agbem, the most consistent scorer for the Bears in those German games, in the West University games. To Caden Powell, his turnaround jump hook is no good. GCU the rebound, give to Stromer. Stromer to Shaw on the right wing. Under 12 minutes on the clock. Drive in, layup, no. Nana, the tip, no. Got it back. Fight for the rebound. Nana got it again, and then a foul is called. It's going to be on Caden Powell.
Nice block by Powell from behind, and you got to give Nana credit. He just stayed after it. I think he had 2 offensive rebounds on his own misses, and he finished that series by going to the free throw line out of this break.
11:40 on the clock, second half. It is Baylor 55, GCU 48. We'll keep it right here during the break as the Bears huddle out on the court. GCU does the same at the other end. Remind you again that they'll play these 2 20-minute halves, and we're in the second half. So a simulated real game between these two. Then they'll go 10 minutes of bonus time there was thought that it would be 10 minutes with a running clock, and during that time they'll get some other guys in on the floor that maybe didn't play in the first 40 minutes of this game. And a real treat for us and for you listening and watching, we'll have Homer Drew with us during that time.
Yeah, you know, what a delight it's been to have him around all these years.
So great.
It's great. And then, you know, when he left coaching and started spending more time watching, it's just been wonderful. He's a wonderful guy to begin with, but then the insight we get from him when we can grab him at halftime of various games is just tremendous.
So fun, and it'll be especially fun with his two sons, and Dana's in attendance too. His daughter, his two sons squaring off against each other for the game today.
Well, this has been a good one, and really, I guess, about what you would expect. It hasn't been beautiful, although neither team has turned it over excessively. Baylor with 9, GCU with 8. Baylor is now enjoying its largest lead of the game by 7. This is the second time they've had a 7-point lead. And I think what I would chalk that up to is Bears stiffening up defensively. Grand Canyon has missed its last 4 shots, and just watching them compared to the first half on their defensive side of the floor, it's just not as easy for a ball handler to turn the corner on a defender as it was early. We've seen Agban step up and shut down dribble penetration. We've seen Skillings do it. Saw Carr do it, get a block to boot at the end of a drive. So to me, the emphasis early season is going to be on making this team stingy defensively and nasty and hard to score on. And I think maybe they have taken a step towards that here in the second half.
Pat, if some people are watching or listening and they say, man, this seems early, it is October 10th to play their exhibition opener. But now it gives both these teams a chance to get back on the practice floor and continue to work. And now they've got some different things to look at and some coaching points to make as they go back to practice on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, because the first official game is November the 3rd.
Yeah.
Which isn't that far away.
Yeah, true.
So this is early. But what it does, too, I mean, it's all those things you talked about. But just from experience, I'll tell you, you get really tired of playing the same guys every day. You know what they're going to run. They know what you're going to run. And what happens, at least it always did in my years, fights break out.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you're like 2 or 3 weeks in. You can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of actually playing games. And players just get really chippy. And I'm not saying that's happening here, but the possibility of that happening can get really high. You got to go play somebody else, have a different look, and stop playing against each other in practice and go play somebody else.
Well, that's what's happening today, and as play resumes, we've got Nana Owusu Ananye at the free throw line. First one is good. It's 55-49. Bears lead cut to 6. Wansu, a 6'8", 240-pound grad student, originally from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Second one is no good, but going for the tip-in, F.A. Demerel kind of gave a forearm shiver to Cameron Carr and knocked him to the floor, and Demerel was whistled for the foul.
Yeah, and Bryce Drew is trying to play with some length. He does have some. That guy is 7'1". He's got another 7-footer, Dennis Evans, 7'1", actually. A 6'10" player.
Oh, baby. Sorry. It's an alley-oop. Dan Skillings to Cameron Carr for the alley-oop dunk and a foul.
I hope. Okay, there's the alley-oop. I'm glad they're playing it again, John, because my head was down checking the roster. We're a little rusty, too. But, yeah, I'm watching it now. That's it's kind of nice when you're the guy throwing the alley-oop and all you have to do is throw it near the rim and let Carr do the rest.
How about Carr now up to 14 points on the day, and he's got a free throw here looking for 15. Carr had 7 points at halftime. Free throw is good.
Yep.
He's got 15 on the day.
You know, it was Skillings leading the way in the first half. Now it's Carr in the second. Kind of makes the point, John, you and I were making, is there's a lot of different places on this floor that can provide the kind of points to separate Baylor from its opponents in games.
9-point lead, biggest of the day, Bob Baker tells us. Here is a 3 by Brian Moore. It's no good. Rebound Bears. Skillings to Carr. Right corner 3. This one's no good. Rebound Brian Moore for GCU. Had an open look from the right-hand corner. Moore drives all the way, and he lays it in with his left hand. They're going to give him the bucket, and there's a foul on Skillings, so he'll have a chance at a three-point play.
You know, that wasn't a blow-by. That was just a great play by Moore. He was able to sort of head fake his way over a ball screen that was being set for him, and he refused the screen, but he made his defender, Skillings, feel like he needed to gather it together and get over the screen. And by the time he was positioning himself to do that, Moore had just left him and finished at the rim. Skillings had to foul him.
Free throw's good, completes the three-point play for Brian Moore. He's up to 13 points on the day now, 5 of 7 shooting from the floor. 4 rebounds to go along with it. 6 rebounds by Nana Owusu Ananye is their leading rebounder on the afternoon. Bears ball up 58-52. 6-point lead for the Bears with 10:38 to go, second half. Carr, 3, good. Just off the top of the key to the right side.
You know, again, just getting open, feeling a rhythm, and I think the key there is Isaac Williams understands that's where the ball needs to be right there. He's the floor general, he's the point guard, and any opportunity he has to get Carr involved, he's going to take it.
I think you said the right word. I think Carr is very much a rhythm shooter.
Yeah.
Here's a block shot by Tunde Yesufu. Rebound by Moore. He drives in. His shot is blocked. Here comes the Bears the other way. Cameron Carr is tied up defensively on the breakaway. And on the alternate possession, the ball goes over to the Lopes.
You know, at the other end, Caden Powell made a play that is going to go a little bit unnoticed, but a tremendous play. Now, he was foul prone in Germany, but on that last play, a guy took it right into his chest. I think it was Moore, and he just held his ground, got his arms up. He's 6'10" with a very wide length. He's got great wingspan, and just used all that to make sure Moore couldn't get a shot out of it, got a piece of it, and that block started the fast break the other way.
So Lopes have the ball, 61-52, 9-point lead for the Bears. Wusu Ananye outside. Gives it on the right wing. A 3 put up by Jaden Henley. That's an air ball out of bounds. Students will let him hear about that. And a really good student turnout. Pat, look right behind us. Look at all the students that are here.
Yeah.
Baylor's on a fall break. No classes today.
Yeah, really good. I mean, I'm not sure what I expected, but this is really more than I thought they would get on a late Friday afternoon in the middle of fall break.
Yeah. I thought the student turnout would be really low. There's Mayo, who gives a head fake, gets Demerel off his feet, and then he goes the other side of the bucket and dunks it home.
Yeah, and he got the feed from Williams, and one thing Mayo's going to learn to do, and we saw a good example of it there, is catch the ball and do something with it. He caught it in traffic, which is not easy to do, and finished the play with a dunk. That really just kind of gets you salivating about what's possible for him.
Yeah, exactly. 11-point lead, biggest of the day for the Bears, 63-52. Under 9 minutes to play, second half. Stromer, turnaround jumper, baseline right is good. Ooh, and Stromer is holding his right knee as he goes down to the floor after that play. Yeah, I hope that is nothing serious. Stromer now lies back on his back. He's got that whole right leg wrapped, or a sleeve on his right leg. One of the trainers is out there, massaging his calf, so maybe it's just a calf more than his knee.
Hope so. I mean, it was an off-balance shot. He got it to go down, tough shot, as he was falling out of bounds, landed awkwardly, and I think it is, John. I think it might just be a cramp.
Started to get up, now he goes back down. I think it is cramp of that right calf. I'm not a doctor.
But you did, well, you did stay in a Holiday Inn last night.
If they were a sponsor, that would be
I was
very
going
good.
to say, well.
Yeah.
So.
All right, full timeout. Both teams will take a full timeout, and we will keep it right here. 8:51 on the clock, second half, 63-54. Bears lead by 9. They've led by as much as 11 in this game. They're starting to get into a little bit of a stretch of some rhythm here, aren't they, in the second half?
They are, and I think the game has loosened up a little bit. There's a lot of strategy on the sidelines. I think, too, John, and I don't know what the breakdown has been, but you can just tell they're starting to figure out who's got to be playing with whom. But the one or a couple of really constants are Skillings needs to be out there and Carr needs to be out there.
That's true.
I mean, we've seen their ability to break open a game. And now you've got 3 different guys in double digits for the Bears, 13 for Yesufu, 18 for Carr, most in the second half, 11 of those, and then Skillings with all 15 of his points in the first half. But they've spread it around, and it's really nice to see you can get buckets from a number of different spots on the floor.
Is that concerning at all that Skillings hasn't scored at all in the second half?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got other guys who, if Skillings becomes the focal point, somebody else has got to be available and take it and run with it. And I think, again, the cupboard is not bare beyond Skillings by any means, and I think what we're seeing is just an example of that.
First half, Grand Canyon shot 50% from the floor. They're at 38% in the second half, 8 of 21. Baylor almost dead even first half and second half, 46.7% in the first half, 47.1% in the second half, so 46.8 for the game. And Baylor 10 of 19 shooting threes. That's notable, 52.6%.
Yeah, compare that to 3 of 14 for Grand Canyon. That's the difference in the game. Bears have done a lot of things really well. Still have points off turnovers. They've out-rebounded GCU by 5. And you look at a game that has been relatively low scoring and is close or has been close for the majority of the game. What separates those two teams right now is what you just described. 7 more made threes by Baylor in the first half on 19 shots. That's the difference.
That's huge. So the lead is 9 for the Bears. They've led by as much as 11. There's 8:51 to play in this game. Bears set to come back on the floor with Isaac Williams, Mayo Soyo, Michael Ritai, Tunde Yesufu, and Cameron Carr. Another thing about these exhibitions, instead of just scrimmages internally, you can have you can play different guys together and see how those, see how that plays out with them.
That's right. I mean, we said before the game, sky's the limit. You do whatever you want to do. You want to win, obviously, but you've got to see combinations. And this is a guy, John Mayo, that really has an opportunity with Bodo on the sidelines with an injury. This is a guy that can play, and he can do it now. He's not playing now as well as he's going to play, but he is raw. He's got all the tools. He just needs some experience.
Foul on GCU. Bears inbound. Cam Carr continues his hot streak. Jumper just outside the paint on the left side, mid-range. Bears back by 11, 65-54, leading GCU. Brian Moore. The entry pass and a whistle and a foul. Maybe on Mayo, and it is Mayo Soyo for the Bears.
He's a guy, again, that they feel like when you're building a roster, you want old guys, you want transfers, you want guys who've been in the program a few years, and then you need a really nice class of new guys that you feel like are going to stay around a while, unless it's one and done, and that always works. But I think Mayo is one of those guys.
Yeah.
They feel like they can have for a while. Iguodala probably falls into that category. Guys that they can develop the way they want to develop them.
And it's got to be a little tougher these days to try to redshirt guys, to sell them on developing. It's a changing world.
It's a changing world. But you want as many of those guys that were going to commit and stay for a while as you can possibly get, because that's still, I don't care who you are, that's still the recipe.
GCU with the ball. Inbounds it comes around the perimeter to Shaw. Now to Henley. Henley drives in, and he is fouled. So Jaden Henley, the whistle and the foul will be on, if that's on Soyo, and it is, that's 5 on him. So he may have just fouled out. Yeah, Mayo Soyo is just fouled out. Oh. The officials wave it off. Nobody's fouling out.
Well, it makes sense.
I think that's what they're saying.
Yep, exhibition game.
Yeah, sure.
They're going to put Caden Powell in anyway.
I saw Marcus Pettigrew kind of waving his hand like he didn't foul out.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't.
Just look the other way.
There's no foul outs.
Yep.
But he does go to the bench, and Caden Powell is back on for the Bears.
Those two guys, excuse me, John, those two guys have been good. Powell and Mayo in the low post have been awfully good. They're delivering what they're expected to deliver. Not a lot of points, but rebounds, and I think some rim protection and Mayo has shown the ability to do exactly that. Those guys are both 6'10", very active.
2 free throws by Jaden Henley. Gets the Baylor lead to 9, 65-56. Bears on top. Under 8 minutes to play, second half. Williams brings it up, gives to Carr. Carr around the screen of Powell, gets to the bucket, lays it up, no good. Loose ball tipped by Powell, but then controlled by Henley for GCU. Henley weaves through the defenders, drives. Shot looks like it was blocked cleanly, but a whistle and a foul. Marcus Pettigrew was run over by one of the managers for GCU. Setting up the stools will tell us the foul is on Baylor. And we've got a timeout. Comes with 7:40 to play, second half. Baylor 65, GCU 56. Second half of this exhibition opener between Baylor and GCU. Tell you another cool thing about the coaching Drews here going against each other. They are taking both into the interview room together after the game.
There you go.
Isn't that great?
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure we're finished with Homer Drew so he can go in there
That's
by that
interesting.
time. But I think that's a really cool move.
That is a nice touch. I mean, it is an exhibition game, but that's just a dynamic you don't get very often. Three very high-profile coaches, and you've got them under one roof. Certainly they're playing to win, but they're not at each other's throats, and the stakes are not that high. This is really
right.
this is a learning experience for everybody.
Yeah.
But it'd be great to get everybody's perspective on this game before they kind of huddle up on their own and do that
I put
to
Homer
a whole
up there.
nother level.
I put Homer up there on the interview dais also.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, the Drew family, second leading coaching family all-time in wins behind the Iba family. And Gene Iba passed away recently. Coached at a number of places, including here at Baylor. And we send our condolences to Sandy and the Iba family on the passing of Gene. We had some good times with Gene Iba here coaching at Baylor.
We really did. I thought, just in terms of X's and O's, he was as good as it got. I really did. And you think about what he was able to do when he got here, and the players that were here, and it was a talented bunch, the Williams boys, but you still have to coach them. And he did that, took them to the tournament, and back in those days, that was hard to do, and he was able to do that. I liked him personally. He and I play golf together occasionally. I will say this, Gene Iba could eat a sandwich faster than any human being I've ever seen.
Is that right?
I mean, it was Guinness Book of World Record stuff. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
One time he and I went to Fort Worth to watch a high school player play. I just rode up with him, and we stopped at a sandwich shop and got a sandwich, and I'm taking one bite. I look over and he's wrapping. I mean, it's done.
Like Doug McNamee fast, huh?
I'm telling you. I mean, it was unbelievable. But even then, over time, we'd run into him here and there. Delightful guy, and love him, love his family, and that's a difficult loss.
Pretty good memories there with Coach Gene Iba, and we share the loss of the Iba family. All right, back to play. I tell you, the thing I remember the most that kind of stood out was when Mr. Henry Iba and Clarence Iba would come down to Waco and watch practice when Baylor would start practice.
Yeah.
Look at those guys, and Gene is going to get their input, on his team. That's heavy duty when you've got Henry Iba and Clarence Iba watching your team.
Oh, yeah, and they were all technicians. That was a different day and age of coaching.
Right.
That was very much X's and O's, and as Matt Saman said at halftime, the approach was different. I mean, how you dealt with players, and so it was fun to watch those. It was no messing around. Oh, we have lights again.
We have lights back on. They went off during the timeout. And then Mo Iba coached at TCU for a while. You remember that memorable game in the ice?
I do.
Baylor and TCU, memorable for a number of reasons. Back to play, Henley shooting free throws for GCU. GCU, not TCU.
Same color.
Does look the same.
Yep.
Couple of them, 65-58.
That lead in the second half, it's gone up to 11 a couple times, but it's stayed really on average at about 7. And Baylor's just not been able to put GCU away, and now Michael Ratai called for an illegal screen. So as we get closer to the home stretch, 7.5 minutes to go, possessions matter, and Bears lose one. GCU gets an extra one here.
So GCU with the ball, down by 7. Demerel, one big step, puts his shoulder into Dan Skillings, no call, and he has an easy lay-in, and it's a 5-point game. Bears lead cut to 5 at 65-60.
Yeah, I think Skillings had an opportunity to draw the charge, but he wasn't really committed to it and really didn't sell the official on it.
Skillings trying to return the favor, drives on the baseline to Yesufu, right corner three, shot no good. Skillings on the floor, gets the loose ball. Gives the ball to Yesufu, drives in, gets it back outside to Obi Agbum. To Skillings, left corner three, it is no good. Fight for the rebound, Caden Powell, and a whistle, and the foul's going to be on GCU.
And really good looks that time. Agbum that time made himself a point guard. I mean, he took the ball on the drive, on the dribble, into the lane, made the defense come get him, and he had a wide open Dan Skillings in the corner.
Nanu Owusu Onanye whistled for the foul. That is personal number 3 on him. Bears ball. Agbum firing a three. Off the mark, right wing. Powell the rebound and the putback, but a whistle and a foul. And that's on Owusu Onanye again. So just like that, he's got 4. Still not shooting. That is 16 fouls on GCU with 6:40 to play. Bears inbounding on their baseline. You know, Marcus Pettigrew is working this game today. He's here a lot working Baylor scrimmages.
He is.
We see him quite a bit.
Well, and these guys, you think about it, they've got to call scrimmages, exhibition games all across the country because everybody does it. So they're officially started.
A preseason for them also. Caden Powell working on Breidenbach, but the ball knocked away from behind by Henley and stolen by GCU. Henley will drive, layup, short, no good. Yesufu maybe whistled for a foul. Yeah, he is. Tunde Yesufu whistled for the foul. 2 free throws coming for the Lopes.
Yeah, that guy has been a load. Henley now with 21 at the line looking for 22 and 23. And consistently, really from the opening tip, he has been a thorn in Baylor's side. The Bears have just not been able to consistently keep him from scoring. He misses his first free throw, but he's been the man. Really one of, actually now 3 players in double digits for Grand Canyon. He's got 21, 12 for Stromer, and 13 for Moore.
First free throw no good by Henley. He's got another one coming. Cam Carr back on the floor for Michael Ratai. Second one rolls in. The lead is cut to 4. It was 11. It's now 4, 65-61 Bears. Baylor with the ball. Obi Agbum dribbles between the rings. Gives to Yesufu. Back to Agbum. Now to Powell and back to Agbum. Agbum, the Wyoming transfer to Yesufu for 3, and he knocks it down.
That's a tough shot. I mean, he was coming hard. He'd been running from the other side of the floor. A screen was set for him, and with a full head of steam, he has to catch it and turn and shoot it in one motion, and that head of steam is going the other way. What a play by Yesufu. That's a big 3 to separate a little bit. Baylor now up by 7.
There's a foul on Caden Powell away from the ball. So for Powell, that is personal number 3 on the day.
He was foul prone in Germany, you might remember, and I think the games over there were officiated a little bit differently, but he was in constant foul trouble. He's done a good job staying out of that today.
So this puts Breidenbach at the free throw line. The 6'10 grad student, transfer from Washington. First free throw is good. Lead is 6. He'll try to get it to 5, and he does. 2 free throws. Good looking form there by Breidenbach. It's 68-63. Baylor's lead is 5 with 5:45 to play. Carr on the right wing gives to Powell. Multicolored shoes by Caden Powell. Now to Tunde Yesufu. To Skillings, back to Yesufu. He'll drive. Whoa, nice play. Got to the rim, laid it up, and left it short. Henley the rebound for the Lopes. Henley brings it up himself, gets a screen from Breidenbach. Now dribbles on the perimeter. Gives to Stromer. Now to Henley with 15 to shoot. Lobs down low. Nana Owusu Missed the shot under the bucket, rebounded by Tunde Yesufu. Made it a tough shot for him, and he couldn't get it to roll in. Bears ball, leading by 5 at the 5-minute mark. Nice pass on the baseline to Skillings. Went up for the dunk, didn't get it. And GCU with the rebound.
It's a great block. I mean, tremendous block. Skillings was trying to dunk it on the great pass from Ogbem, and just defender did an unbelievable job keeping his body away from him and getting all ball at the top of the shot.
Here's a foul on Cameron Carr on the perimeter on Stromer. Is that 43 is the number that Cameron Carr is wearing? Did he wear that in Germany, or was it a different number?
Can't remember.
It doesn't look familiar to me. It just looks different. We'll ask Ty Beard here. He'll know the answer. Short timeout with 4:39 to play. Bears leading by 5, 68-63.
You know, both of these teams, it's interesting, John, how, and you know, no coincidence, how similar in style they play offensively. A lot of guard play. It's green light on guys who can make threes, are encouraged. They've got permission and they're encouraged to shoot those, but I think they're kind of built the same way. Grand Canyon really wanted length, and they've got 2 6'11" guys, 2 7'1" guys, and Coach Drew went to more length this year. Doesn't have a lot to show for it yet with the injury to Bodo, but they play similarly, and the score might reflect that. Just a 5-point separation with 4:30 to play in the game.
Yeah. Well, not a surprise, really, is it?
No.
Two men named Drew, coaching against each other, similar styles.
Yeah, very much so, and I'm sure they learned that from their dad.
Yeah. Visit with Homer Drew when they go to the 10-minute bonus time period. That'll be a lot of fun. Right now, Henley shooting free throws for GCU. First one rolls in.
Henley's now, 23 on the day.
Wow. GCU has another exhibition game. They will go against USC in an exhibition on October 25th. So playing a Big 12 school and what is now a Big 10 school in their exhibition games. Both free throws good. It's a 3-point game, 68-65. How about a little drama in this exhibition game? Bears have led by 11. Now it's 3 at 68-65 with 4.5 minutes to play. Carr to Skillings. Thought about a 3. Instead gives the ball back to Cameron Carr. Now to Obi Agbem. Agbem on the left wing. Looks to penetrate. Now backpedals. Agbem running the point. Into the paint. Floater. No good. Too strong. Skillings went for the tip. Couldn't get it. Here is Shaw falling down. Dribbling the ball Globetrotter style. Yesufu reaches in and ties him up, and the possession arrow favors Baylor.
That's a huge play, and he just reached in and grabbed it and held on to it. Did a good job not fouling Shaw, but that's a huge play. I mean, separation is 3 points. Possessions now with 4:05 to play are at a premium, and the Bears just kept GCU from having one, and they get an extra one.
Ooh, inbounds to Yesufu, a wide open 3, and he nails it for the Bears.
So how about that? He makes the play, forces the jump ball, gets the ball back, immediately answers with a 3. This 6-point separation now is all the responsibility of Yesufu.
71-65, Bears on top, 3:47 to play. We'll have a media timeout, next dead ball. Ryan Moore has it right wing for GCU. Jump pass into the quarter to Breidenbach, a 3 is no good. Fight for the rebound here. Obi Agbem in there battling for the ball. And what they call a tie-up? They did, and it'll be GCU's ball following a timeout. Timeout on the floor, 3:33 remaining. It's Baylor 71, GCU 65. We are brought to you in part by Pepsi. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
You know, and the three-point shooting just continues for the Bears, who are on fire. They've made 12 of 24, so they've shot a bunch of them. In fact, almost a little under half of Baylor's total field goals have been three-pointers in the game, 12 of 24 out there. Compare that to 3 of 15 for GCU. but that is the primary reason there's a 6-point separation. Baylor leading by that margin with 3:33 to go in the ball game, but still very much up for grabs. It's cooled off a little bit. GCU, anyway, has not scored a field goal, gotten a couple of free throws, but nothing from the floor in 3 minutes and 49 seconds.
Wow. GCU is also 0 for 6 from three-point range in the second half. Now 3 for 15, 20% for the game. Bears at 50% three-point shooting. That's a good sign, 12 of 24.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think coming in, the word on this team was just statistically proven they're going to make threes. They've got guys that over the course of their careers have been able to make, anywhere from 36% up to, around 40%. And you can win a lot of games shooting at that clip. But right now they're at 50. And Cameron Carr's made, he's 3 of 5, 5 of 9 for Yesufu, 2 of 3 for Skillings. So they've been on target. And they're good-looking threes. They're open threes that come at the end of dribble drive. Coach Drew says a lot, you want to play the game from the inside out, not the outside in. And those threes that they've made have been kick-out threes, and that's why that percentage is so high.
Hey, I saw one of your buds today.
Who's that?
Terry Teagle.
Terry Teagle. I was going to get by there, but my work actually interfered. I've got my priorities completely out of whack. I'm hoping to see him and some other guys, teammates, after the game. I'm hoping Terry can stay around. Yeah.
Great to see Terry.
Yeah.
Boy, how about that? You play with Terry Teagle. You play with Vinny Johnson. And look how good you made them look. Am I right?
I'm going to make Terry buy me dinner tonight.
What a great guy. So
good event, though. That was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. He was at a cards and collectibles show at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and he was there signing autographs. They were lining up to get his autograph when I left. So really cool. That's
a vintage autograph now.
I
mean, that's a guy that spent, 8 or 9 years in the NBA and then played another 4 or 5 overseas at the European, what is basically the European pro level. So he had a wonderful professional career, as he should. Incredible player.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
From Broadus, Texas. What, Class B school, wasn't it?
It was. Class B Broadus. You don't get any smaller than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. On the banks of Lake Sam Rayburn.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
And he and Vinny and you played without the three-point line.
Yes,
Think about the point totals that would have been added on top of your already prolific scoring.
Yeah, well, for Terry, for sure.
That is for sure. Inbounds to Henley. He drives in, and he gets the bucket. A driving layup by Henley coming out of the timeout. He's got 26 on the night, and it's a 4-point game, 71-67 Bears with 3:16 to play. Baylor ball. Carr gives to Agbum. Agbum between the rings. Bears in the home white, shooting the basket to our right. Entry pass intended for Carr, I think, knocked out of bounds.
This is an interesting spot. So you're up 4, protecting the lead, 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. This is a team that needs to experience situations like this and see how they can perform.
Yeah, that's part of playing somebody else is to get in this kind of situation. Here's a runner by Yesufu that is no good. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by Baylor. So over to the Lopes with 3 minutes to go in a 4-point game.
That's a really good shot. I mean, that's what you want. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that can get you a bucket. Shot it off the dribble. He had rebounders in position, just didn't go down.
Under 3 minutes to go. 71-67, Baylor on top. Strover, nice pass. But then Owanyu is covered up, gives it back outside to Brian Moore. Moore drives it. Oh, it's a travel. Looked like it was going to be a foul call. I think everybody thought it was a foul, but he traveled with it, so turnover, Lopes.
And Yesufu thought he'd fouled him, and in fact he did foul him, but I think the travel occurred before the foul. He covered a lot of ground. He kind of Euro-stepped and exaggerated that, did more to get himself open, get a shot. And took one step too many, and it was before the foul.
So Baylor's ball looking to extend their 4-point lead. Skillings top of the key. Gets to the left-hand baseline. Now passes back outside to Carr. Now to Agbum. Agbum around the screen of Powell. Jumper by Obi Agbum is good.
And that's Again, another sign of guys that are going to get a bucket when they have to get one, when the game's on the line and everything tightens up a little bit. Agbem has been pretty quiet. He hasn't scored like he did in Germany. That's just his third point of the night.
Stromer, a three from the left corner is good. Had a little bit of an opening there, and he nails the three-pointer. That is Dusty Stromer, the Gonzaga transfer. And his three makes it a three-point game, 73-70 Bears with a minute 40 to play. Agbem, top of the key, working against Stromer. Drives in, shot no good. Rebound Bears, battling hard. Obi Agbem got the ball in the putback.
Yeah, sometimes the best rebounder is the guy that just shot it and knows it's not going in, has a good idea of where it's coming off. That's exactly what happened with Agbem. Was able to get it, hold on to it, and somehow get another shot away.
Makes it a two-possession game now, 75-70. Bears on top with a minute 15 to play. Stromer on the right wing. Gives to Henley on the left wing. Fires a three. It is no good. Dan Skillings the rebound, and he's fouled from behind. Skillings gets up. And let's see who the foul is on. It is on GCU's Wilhelm Breidenbach.
Well, that is
Wilhelm.
Skillings' 11th rebound of the ball game. He's got a double-double. All 15 of his points came in the first half, but now 11 rebounds, and that was a big one. I mean, you got to get stops at the end of a game like this in this situation, and Bears forced a bad shot, and then Skillings got the rebound to kill the possession.
Skillings goes to the free throw line for the Bears. 1 of 1 at the line today. Double-double for Dan Skillings, 15 points and 11 rebounds, all 15 points in the first half. Officials say, hey, we're going to do this during the season. Do it now. Tuck your shirt in.
Let's just get used to that.
That's right. Maybe that's a point of emphasis. Free throw's good. His first point of the second half with 1:05 to play.
Tucking shirts in and physicality.
Physicality. Not related.
Not related. You can control tucking shirts in. I don't know how much control you have over
That's
physicality.
right.
You know, if that's where they crack down, some of those games might last 4 hours.
Oh, my gosh, that's true. Second one's good. 2 free throws by Skillings, a fist pump as he puts the Bears up by 7. 77-70 Bears with a minute 5 to play. GCU with the ball. Brian Moore gives to Owusu Ananye. He looks to drive on Skillings, passes left side to Stromer, a three, no good. Rebound Obi Agbem for the Bears. Obi will hold things up. Coach Drew says hold things up. That would be Scott Drew. Now across the timeline, Owusu Ananye reaching in, and he's told to back up by Coach Drew. That would be Bryce
The other
Drew.
Drew. Not to be confused with Scott or Homer.
So they'll run the clock a little bit here. Now 8 to shoot.
Tough play.
Driving layup, shot no good. Rebound GCU with 22 seconds to play. Henley weaves through traffic up the floor and lays it in at the other end. Timeout Bryce Drew with 15.9 seconds to go. Baylor leading 77-72.
You know, the last few possessions have been good. We said when Bears were up by, I believe it was 3, every possession's going to matter, and the Bears wanted a little bit of time off the clock and finish with shots that they had a good chance to make. They've done that, and even when they haven't, like that last possession by Agbem, that was a good shot. That's the one they wanted. It was a good look. Ball just rolled out, wouldn't go down for him. Same thing with Yesufu. So it's good in an exhibition game to experience situations like that where you've got to perform under pressure, and they've been able to do that. I think that's a nice takeaway from this game. They can feel good about it.
Michael Ratai is going to come on for the final 15.9 seconds of this game. Bears lead by 5, 77-72. What a good game. I think we'll get Homer Drew's thoughts on this, but what a good game for both teams, you know. GCU went out on top to start the game. Baylor caught up, led at halftime. GCU caught up in the second half. Yep. Baylor has kept them at bay for the most part, but a tight game where you can work on a lot of things.
That's right. And, you know, Grand Canyon is making a move, has made a move to the Mountain West. This is their first year to do that. Talking with their sports information guy, they have looked at their schedule. They have 13 games on TV as opposed to 2 or 3 a year ago.
Wow.
And that was the reason for the move. But my point is, it's a step up. I mean, that league is difficult. and they've got to be a better basketball team to win the way they're accustomed to winning, looking to go to their 4th straight NCAA tournament. And so scrimmaging in this environment against a team like Baylor is going to serve them well, and it will serve Baylor as well.
Yeah. Here's a second timeout. I think that's called by Baylor, right? Like the same team can't call consecutive timeouts.
Correct, yeah. I think Baylor got to look at what what was coming at them with Grand Canyon and shut it down.
All right, so another timeout right here, back-to-back. This one called by Baylor. 15.9 seconds to play. Baylor with the lead by 5, 77-72. There is a bonus time 10-minute period coming up following this second half, 2 20-minute halves, and then some bonus time. I think that's what they've done in the past when Baylor played only closed scrimmages. I think that's what they did, 20 minutes, and then 10. So able to do really whatever you want with an exhibition. They'll do the same thing here.
Yeah, and I mean exhibition, of course, but I like this format.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, this is game time.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you wouldn't know had you not heard the billing and understood what was going on here that this is an exhibition game. This game's been played at a high level of energy and intensity. It's been great.
So the Bears inbound, pressure in the backcourt. In fact, inbounds to Yesufu, and he is fouled in the backcourt. Now with 13.2 seconds remaining. Foul is called on Wilhelm Breidenbach. Will walk to the near end and shoot free throws. I think it's Yesufu who will go to the line.
Yeah, and what a debut for him. I mean, again, this early in the season, we'll get a lot more from him as the season goes by, but 19 points. He's made 5 of 9 threes, has 4 rebounds, has an assist, and has been careful with the ball. Just another in a long line of potential one-and-dones, but guys that are going to make an impact as freshmen for sure.
First free throw is good by Tunde Yesufu. I think the students and the fans are going to really like him. A lot to like about this team. All new. Completely new from last year.
It is, and second free throw is good. But, John, again, you have to have guys. You got to have, as Coach Tang used to say, got to have dudes.
Yeah.
And this team has dudes, really does. Now, what Coach Drew's able to do with them, we'll see. But from experience, it'll be a lot.
Stromer falls down but gets the pass away to Breidenbach for 2 points. Baylor inbounds, and that is it for the 2 20-minute halves. Scott Drew, Bryce Drew meet at midcourt. Now they're going to put 10 minutes on the clock, and they'll play a little bit more. But in the regular game, so to speak, Baylor wins over GCU 79-74, the final score.
Yeah, and it was a great way to kick things off, a great crowd under the circumstances. Got a really good look at a team that has really big upside, I think, John. And a lot of folks ask us, I'm sure you get the question too, how will this team be? Will this team be good? And my standard answer is have no idea. Yeah. Ask again in a couple of months. It will be good. The question is how good. But I think what we saw here today from the guys that are going to get most of the minutes reveals a really strong upside. Work to do for sure, but when you've got guys that you can build on, and they do, I think sky's the limit.
Yeah. So they'll have a 2-minute warm-up here for both teams. I think some of the guys that will play in this 10-minute period have been sitting for a while, so they'll have a 2-minute warm-up, and then they'll play 10 minutes, we think, with a running clock, and then that'll be out for both these teams. But Baylor wins 79-74. Pat, let's share some of the final numbers from the game, the 2 20-minute halves. Baylor winning by 5 over GCU.
Well, you know, at this part of the season, the first part, you would think sometimes defense is ahead of offense. I don't think that was the case today. Both teams shot it really well. 46% for Grand Canyon. Now, they were way under par at the three-point line, made just 4 of 18. That's 22%. Compare that to 12 of 24 from beyond the three-point line for Baylor. That's 50%. That, to me, was a difference in the game. 5-point difference or separation at the end. Baylor wins it by that margin. But that's a huge difference. 12 made threes to 4 made threes. Free throws at the end of the game, 18 of 21 for Grand Canyon. That's outstanding. Baylor shot it at 43.5%, made those 50%, 12 of 24 at the three-point line. And then another really good sign, 13 of 14 from the free throw line for the Bears. That's just at 93%. Bears got 3 different players in double digits. That's 17 for Dan Skildings, only 2 in the second half. Really didn't need those because his backcourt mates, Yesufu and Cameron Carr, finished with 21 and 20 respectively. Skillings did have 11 rebounds, a number of those in the second half. But you got 1, 2, 3 different guys in double digits. That's 41. That's 58 of Baylor's 79 came from 3 different players. Double-digit scoring for Grand Canyon, 13 for Brian Moore, 15 for Dusty Stromer. Jaden Henley led all scores in the game with 28. Baylor out-rebounded GCU 32-30. Some of the other key stats, Baylor had 12 turnovers, which led to 13 points for GCU. 10 turnovers by Grand Canyon, which Baylor turned into 18 points in the ball game. So again, if you look at this, a lot of bright spots. The game was fairly even. The difference was three-point shooting, where the Bears really put on a clinic out there from a couple of key guys.
All right, 79-74. We are headed into the 10-minute bonus time period, and we are joined by Coach Homer Drew. What a great family reunion today. How fun is this for you?
It is wonderful. And the nice thing is I knew a Drew would win, so that's what was wonderful.
That's exactly right. All right, you got notes on your card there. What was it? What are your thoughts watching the first 2 20-minute?
Well, I thought that I've seen that tip play run many times before that GCU did to get the dunk by Dusty to start it off.
Yeah.
And then I loved Effie, GCU sliding halfway across the floor at 7 feet to get a loose ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I really loved the energy that they started out with. And then after that second timeout, Baylor came out and really intensified their defense. Mm-hmm. I think Coach Sanchez has done a wonderful job with their defense. And that showed. Then it became harder for GCU to get some shots that they wanted to get. And Baylor got a lot of three-point shots, and we did not get a lot of three-point shots.
Wait, you can't say we and they in
this
scenario.
How about we just go Bryce and Scott?
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
You did say we.
Well, we is both teams. We
that's
is
true.
all.
And we is everybody. We are the world. And a close game, and we said we think both coaches, learned a lot probably about their teams, and when they go back to practice on Monday, they got some things to work on.
Well, and I think you hit the very key. One of the neatest things that happened was that 3 nights ago, we were on a three-way, and I was so proud because Scott and Bryce were talking, well, how can we get better from this? So they gave each other kind of a scouting report, and so that each team got to know a little bit about each other's personnel, from the coaches right to the coaches.
Nice.
And it was really I was really proud to see the two of them work together, because what's going to happen after this scrimmage, our exhibition game that they call it, is that, as you know, Baylor goes to Indianapolis and plays IU, and then GCU brings in Southern Cal for their second exhibition. So both of them are going to have a couple weeks now to prepare, because they get a chance to see what they need to work on.
Yeah.
And it's just what you said, John, and I think this is great. By having an early exhibition game, you get a chance now to learn from it.
Yeah. And I want to hear this from a coach. We talk so much about new roster, chemistry issues, that kind of thing. That's not exaggerated, right? I mean, that is a real thing. And if it is a real thing, how long typically does it take to kind of get it right?
Great question, and you are correct. Chemistry is huge as you move on into the season, and of course, when you can get into the NCAA tournament, it's huge. What's hurt us in our basketball is the darn portal and the darn NIL. And so every team in America has new players on there. Some get more, but most of them get 5 or 6, 7 new players. And it's hard to keep a freshman in your program, because if they don't play, they're going to leave. And if they do play, then all of a sudden other schools now throw in more money, like Rob Wright last year. And Scott was building the program around him being, back for another year. And so this happens for every team, and chemistry takes time. I think what was wonderful was that Baylor got a chance to go to Germany and play, and you, as a coach, you get to see who makes the key shots, who gets the key rebound, who likes the pressure situation, and you get that by playing in games. Practice sometimes hides that, but in a game you get to see who you want the ball in the hands at the end of the game, who's your best free throw shooter, who you want to foul. So I think that has been a good jump start, and I think that Baylor's going to surprise a lot of teams. I think we're the deepest that we've been in years, and we're very athletic. And I love the way that we shoot it. And even in Germany, we had 4 people in double figures most games. This game we had 3, but they were, Tunde is special. He is really key. But Schilling does it at both ends of the floor, and he rebounds and he scores. So I think you've got a lot of good weapons that we do here at Baylor, and I think we'll surprise teams. And I meant we.
I hear you. I heard that we.
It's the other we. To your point, Coach, and then we'll talk about this game, but I thought it was helpful for this game to be fairly close at the end. 2.5, 3 minutes to play. Game's still up for grabs. And so Bears had to make some plays and figure out who's going to make those plays, which plays to run. I thought that was helpful for them, and I thought they dialed up the right things. And I would think from Bryce's perspective, it's helpful to go through the experience of really quality competition. Got to make some plays to win a game, and so when you're playing, you want competitive, and they got it today.
And they did, and it becomes a win-win, because now that they played a high major, when they have another chance to play it, they're not timid. We can play, and we can win. And so they come out of it good. And I thought kind of the key was that when Baylor went to the zone, it slowed Grand Canyon up, and we never got the ball where we wanted to get the ball. Inside, we played too much on the perimeter. So it gives Bryce a lot to work with and get better and sharper with that. So everyone comes out a winner as far as making and learning about their team.
We're visiting with Homer Drew, the 10-minute bonus time part of this exhibition is going on. GCU and Baylor will keep you updated. GCU leads Baylor 7-4 with 6.5 minutes to go in the 10-minute extra time. How does Bryce feel about this team going into this season?
He's very excited about it. He feels that we're very deep. We, because when I'm there, I'm we. And so, wow. Good shot.
3
there.
by J.J. White.
So, he feels very good because it will be one of his deepest teams, too. There's 10, 11 guys that he can throw. And as you saw, when some of them had to lead the game with little bump collisions and that, we had someone else to come in. And so they're going to be deep as well. They're a little bit young, but that's good. They'll grow up from playing competition like this.
Has the Mountain West done a preseason poll?
If they have, I haven't seen it.
I haven't noticed one either.
I'm sure they have, but I have not seen that.
Gotcha.
I haven't even seen the Big 12. How is that?
I don't think it's been released. The women's preseason was released yesterday. I don't think they've released the men's yet.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Either one of them.
Yeah. Media days are in a couple of weeks, so they'll probably have that lined up soon.
I've seen a couple of the Athletic and what else? Some of the other Hoop Stack maybe. I think we're consistently 7. Some 6, some 8, but right in that range, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
I think we will surprise.
Yeah, I do too. But can you see why we'd be picked 7th with a whole new team?
Yeah, no one knows exactly.
Right.
And they got a preview early in Germany, and we're better now than we were when we went to Germany.
Yeah.
And I think that last game, that we lost will help us throughout the year.
Yeah.
Yep. Coach, speak to the guard situation here. It seems to me, and John and I talked about this during the game, you've got Baylor 3 different guards, and each of those 3 seems to play differently. You got Agbem, who can really score.
Yeah.
Williams is a jet and defensively can really go. JJ's probably a little more of a point guard. What is your assessment of our backcourt? You talk about the loss of Rob Wright. So you've got to fill that spot, but 3 different guys. What do you as a coach do with that?
Well, I like it from a standpoint it becomes a committee.
Yeah.
Instead of 1 guy, 3 guys, and you find out which one is playing well, or do you need more defense? Do you need more offense? Do you need someone who's a glue guy that can get it to the guys who are scoring well with Carr and Tunde and Schillings? You get it to them when they're hot. And so I love the 3. And I would make it into a strength that it's a committee. We're going to all be together. We're going to work together. Take your strengths to help our team.
Makes sense.
That crowd reaction was Mayo Soyo finishing off an alley-oop dunk that pulls Baylor within 2. We're in the 10-minute extra period. 5:05 remaining, 11-10. GCU leads Baylor. We're distracting Coach Homer Drew from watching this by visiting with us. With the way the game has changed, and it has changed dramatically, could you coach today? Would you want to coach today?
I'll tell you what both sons tell me. Dad, be happy you're out.
I bet that's right.
And,
I can see that.
And there's 3 things that I would love to see change. 1, the portal and the NIL. That has ruined what all of us know about college athletics, and that has really, I think, hurt the program. The other one, I think, is it's become much too physical. When the 3 of us were playing years ago, I mean, you couldn't push and shove, and I think we've gone too far with the physicality with it. And you get the high flyers in that. When they're up in the air, they don't have any protection, and if they get hit or bumped, now you get someone seriously hurt, and that affects your team and how you're going to finish. But I think it's much too physical, and I'd love to see the coaches get the ADs and the ADs get to the officials and say, let's clean it up and let them play a little bit.
Yeah. So you'll be at Indiana?
I'm debating whether Indiana or Arizona for USC. So,
oh, yeah. Those are back-to-back days,
yes,
aren't they?
they
Yeah.
are.
That's true.
So I'm trying to arrange how
You'll be with we.
Yeah.
Oh, good answer.
Go we.
Good answer.
We'll be at one of those games for sure. Back home in Indiana, though, you can't miss a trip back to Indiana.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
That's a huge day.
Here comes Baylor clearing their bench. Jared Nunes comes as Will Kirkendall's about to check in.
Now that's another grandson. Oh,
it is.
Foul.
It is.
He was foul.
That's right.
You got a couple of grandsons. Wow, a Baylor
Iggy.
bucket.
That was Iggy.
Whoa.
That was impressive.
That was very impressive.
But you've got a couple of grandsons on this GCU team. That's
That
another
is
level,
true.
isn't it?
Yes,
That's
yes.
fun. And Casey, an assistant to Bryce. That's fun.
That's a great.
Dana's here, right?
Yes, he's a great son-in-law to have, and with him we've got 4 grandkids, and 3 of them play basketball.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Must be pretty good.
Yes.
Didn't one of them transfer to one of your 3
Yes.
from GCU? I know you've got 2 on the roster. Did one transfer?
Yes, he did. Isaiah, who's the oldest, and he's 6'8". He's playing now at the University of Northern Arizona.
Okay.
So, which is close by. It's only that 2-hour drive there. So he's there, and then of course Caleb and Luke is being redshirted this year there, but he gets a chance to play in this.
Oh, that's nice. Well, Luke's on the floor now. Well, we don't want to distract you from watching Luke. I know that's fun. And hope y'all have a fun weekend together here. Final thought is, would you tell our listeners and viewers about those 3-way calls that are very regular between you guys?
Well,
late night, right?
Late night, yes, very late, past my bedtime.
Yeah.
But it's great because we get to talk a little basketball, and I learn more from those 2 sons of mine than what I ever contribute. But it's nice just to be able to listen to them and be able to follow both of them in their programs. So,
Yeah.
but thank you for asking.
That's fun. Yeah, those are fun. Well, we appreciate you very much. You know that. We love you and glad you're here. And this is fun to get Bryce and Scott to play against each other and you to be here.
As my youngest grandson said, it's cool. So it was cool to be here.
It is cool. Very
Wonderful.
cool. Thanks very much.
We'll
let
seeing you down
watch.
the road.
Sounds good.
We'll see you down the road.
Thanks very much. You
Okay.
too. Thanks very much.
Thank
Homer
you.
Drew with us, the patriarch of the Drew coaching family, and great to visit with him, and we really are distracting him. He's trying to watch Luke, his grandson, out there, so we need to let him go to do that. So we appreciate him greatly. And here's where things stand. Baylor leads over GCU 16-13. They are in the 10-minute bonus time period. Again, some guys playing here that did not play for Baylor and GCU. Like Luke Shaw, Homer Drew's grandson, one of two grandsons on the GCU team. But for Baylor, Drew Perry has just come into the game. And who else have we had out there? Will Kirkendall is out there, the Arizona transfer. And Andre Iguodala is out there also for Baylor. So, and then for GCU, there's some guys that we did not see. Well, there's Pepe out there for GCU. We did not see him in the full game, the two 20-minute halves that preceded this one.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Drew made a good point. That Homer Drew, let's just put it that way,
Right.
that both teams are deeper, and that's going to help. But part of the depth is what you're seeing on the floor right now. These guys, I mean, Mayo there played a lot in the regulation period, but Iguodala, maybe not this year, don't know what his status is going to be, but that's a guy that could contribute. There'll be a spot at some point where Perry, Kirkendall, whoever, will get called on. I mean, last year was unprecedented in terms of the injuries and how that affected the team, so you never know. And so no stone goes unturned. These guys are going to get minutes.
All right, 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this game. It's 18-14, Baylor on top of GCU. Great to get Coach Homer Drew's perspective on these two teams going against each other. Really, for him, this is not that new, not as new as it is for us, because these teams have scrimmaged against each other in the past. I don't remember if they did it last year. Do you remember?
I don't. You know, those things are really sort of kept secret.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
You just don't know much about them, and you hear about them after the fact. And so I know that they have done it before. I don't know if they did it last year.
And not really keeping it a secret from us, but it's part of the rules. If you play a closed scrimmage, it's closed.
Yes.
Usually they don't release stats from those games. There's no video that gets out of that. I think that's one reason you do a closed scrimmage, is to kind of keep everything in-house, not provide any video for upcoming opponents, anything like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think, again, in this situation, and it's unique to Scott and Homer and Bryce, there's just so much more that they're going to get out of this. I mean, to get another serious but friendly and candid perspective from somebody you know and trust about your team is invaluable. You just don't get that very often. You get a number of old coaches you're going to see, former coaches, retired, whatever, that come in and serve a consultant role.
Yeah.
That's what that's all about.
Yeah.
And you can do that here. Scott can get that from Bryce. Bryce can get that from Scott, and they'll both get it from Homer.
All right, under 2 minutes to go here in the bonus 10-minute period between these two. Baylor on top, 18-14. Next action for the Bears will be on October 26th. That is a Sunday in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, as Baylor will take on the University of Indiana. And there is some thought that, and here's Luke Shaw with a steal at midcourt and a dunk at the other end. So I'm really glad Homer Drew got to see that and wasn't messing with us. So Luke got the steal and the dunk. That makes it 18-16. But Baylor versus Indiana in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, October 26th. That's a Sunday. That'll be the second exhibition for the Bears. I mean, that could be a huge crowd in Indianapolis for that game.
I think it will be.
I do too.
mean, it's basketball crazy, and those are two really high-profile teams in the world of college basketball going at one another. So, you know, it will be an exhibition game, but I don't think anybody will think of it that way. The average fan. In fact, I've got a colleague who is a big Indiana fan, and he says, we're flying in from out of town
nice.
for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre?
No, not Dr.
Okay.
Dre. but close. I mean, that level of fan.
Big fan.
That's right.
Very good. So that'll be next. And Homer Drew made the point. Drew Perry put up a three that didn't fall. And Homer Drew made the point that now both these teams have 2 weeks before their next exhibition. And think about getting back in the lab and then getting back on the practice floor and all the things you can work on that you've learned today that'll now help you in the next exhibition and then moving forward.
Yeah, it's invaluable because there are things about yourself you don't see, and sometimes the film doesn't even reveal that to you. And just by getting on the floor and playing with guys that are different that you're accustomed to, I mean, there's so much that you're going to learn from that. But I think every coach and I think most players have a blind spot or two, and until you can open those up and really see what's in there, you're missing something. And I think the Bryce Scott interactions that we've talked about are going to help solve those problems, whatever they are.
All right, final 35 seconds of this one. The 10-minute extra period. Pass to Andre Iguodala and is off his hands and out of bounds. So GCU has the ball, down by 4, 20-16. Baylor won the full game, 79-74 over GCU. Did you give all the stats from that? Did we finish those stats?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
So 79-74. Baylor winning the full game, the simulated game, the exhibition game between Baylor and GCU. And now 20 seconds to go in this one. And then we will call it a day, and the Drews will get together and compare notes and really help each other like you probably can't do against any other opponent. You know, they can do some things that, again, I don't think you would see anywhere else. So pretty cool deal with Bryce Drew and Scott Drew. They embrace at midcourt. Baylor wins the 10-minute extra period, 22-19 over GCU today here in Foster Pavilion. And the Bears win the full game, 79-74. So good start, you would say. But, again, the coaches will grade this on more than just the score.
Yeah, very much so. And this is about winning, and every time you step on the floor, you win. In fact, in practice, everything, pretty much everything the players do in drills and stuff is competitive. There's a winner and there's a loser in everything that they do. So that's what this is about. But I do think it's a great way to take a look at yourself and get a perspective that's different. And I think this really served that purpose. I thought it was great, John. I just love the fact that we're playing again.
Yeah.
And off we go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It does seem early, and it is early, October 10th, but it is a lot of fun. And great, too, with this team, which is brand new for Coach Drew and the Bears, to see them together and see them begin to mesh. I know they're pretty far down the road doing that, but publicly to see that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was great, too, to open this up and let the fans come in and get a taste and get a glimpse. And I think they got a good one today. There's a lot of upside. I think what Coach Drew said the same thing. Where this team lands, don't know, but there is a lot to work with. And until you have that, you've got some explosive pieces. You're just not going to get where you want to get. Well, that first problem is solved. They're good to go.
Well, and as you might expect, as Baylor normally does, they circle up in prayer. They circle up in prayer at midcourt, and it's both teams circling up together. So that is an absolutely perfect way to finish this exhibition game between Baylor and GCU. We're going to sign off from here. Baylor wins the full game, 79-74. They win the extra 10 minutes period, 22-19. Again, the next exhibition for Baylor will be on Sunday, October 26th in Indianapolis against Indiana. And we'll have the stream of that as well on BaylorBears.com and on Baylor Athletics YouTube channel. Thanks to Bob Baker, lifesaver as always to Bob Baker, getting us going here on the stream. Pat, a lot of fun.
It's great fun. Yeah, I love it. I mean, here we go. It's barely midway into October, and we're playing again.
Yeah.
But let's go. Yeah, this is wonderful.
All right, we appreciate your being with us today, and we'll be back with you with a stream of Baylor basketball October 26th. That is a 1 p.m. start local time. I think Indianapolis would be Eastern time, so that may be noon Central time on October 26th. We'll talk to you then. For Bob Baker and Pat Nunley, I'm John Morris. Thanks for being with us for this Baylor exhibition game Final score, Baylor over GCU, 79-74 in the 2 halves game, and then 22-19, Baylor over GCU in the 10-minute bonus time.